Impact and impact are two separate things.
Bless you, noble bean, for your sacrifice to bring us this bountiful harvest of stream. Hey, I'm Slappy Meats, and this is Dungeons and Dragons here on my channel. You know it's my channel because it says Slappy Meats. I am also Sailed of the Dhampir Rogue, and oh, hey, my alerts are on. That's cool. I'll leave them. Hopefully it won't mute my bot. But it's fine, I put them on YouTube anyway. Who cares? Hey, Satsuki, can you... excuse me, my bad bitch. Hey, there's Lolo, man. He's here with me, too.
Hello, everyone. I'm playing one who leads, the Mushroom Folk, Druid Cleric healer of the group. Paying attention. Okay.
My audio broke. There we go. It's back.
So I'm just having too much trouble distinguishing.
I sworn I said I'm sad of the Dhampir Rogue. I'll say it again. I'll say it as many times as you need to hear it. Remember the name. Or you can just call me Dove. I'm just the sweetest of hearts you'll ever be chilled by. Anyway, Lolo is there. And then, Selnica is here.
Hello, I'm a mess today. And honestly, close my character. I'm playing Philomy, the half-elf paladin who's more than a little bit TikTok, and it's basically a headache for our warlock.
That's true. Speaking of whom, we've got Moonlight Kisune.
Greetings all. I'm the other one streaming, alongside Slappy over there. I play Yozora, Team Warlock, Scholar, and currently sharing a headache with me. Or with them. Yeah, this is going to be a day.
I know. Hopefully some bandit fucking up will help with that. Okay, Nancy, I'll get that in a second. Why not? I'm behind. I'm a big behind. Little behind. Cake. Hey, also joining us, of course, is our precious Bonnie boy, Bonnie Bee.
I am forever your Tabaxi Ranger, Wither, who is dealing with a lot on his mind at the moment after a long trip.
True. And bringing us all together, we've got the, ever so wonderful, generous, kind, beneficent, magnanimous, and surely handsome and good-smelling DM who would do nothing but kindness and sweetness and tenderness to his party. Ironmug.
It's true. I can confirm that I would only do the best, most amazing and wonderful things to all of you.
The dice say otherwise.
Oh my.
No, that's okay.
It's the dice,
has already had
the dice.
The DM has already had a blood sacrifice today.
Well, welcome back to Drums of the Empire, session 51, and also I can't even believe I didn't make a bigger deal about it. Last week was session 50. That was fucking rad. And can we talk about session 50? Had the first actual Illithid lore that any party has got at all so far amongst all the games I've run. That was kind of fucking legit. Like everybody else has got tastes, like you get a little nibble of the Illithid pie, but you guys got a whole fucking helping. That was hot. That's the hottest shit ever. I love it.
It was tasty.
Oh.
I'm ready for it.
And
that was you.
Session 50. That was so cool. You guys are the best. All right.
He.
We're back at it today.
I know.
We've made our way out to the banking town, trading town. This is basically, it started as a trading post area that grew up over time. People like the area. I don't know. Maybe it's got nice flowers in the summer or something. people decided to settle in this area. It is one of the few settlements in this more northeastern section of the Free Territories that does direct trade and has direct influence with Bear Graeus, which is the de facto capital of the Free Territories. But it's very much, this selfish, greedy money pot kind of city where, everybody's out for, the biggest buck. And as long as nobody outside makes a lot of waves, they're kind of cool with these things being what they are, and things continuing in whatever fashion gets them the most money. Well, somebody has decided to shake that up and maybe get their attention in the form of some bandits that have been hitting. Now they've gotten a little bit more bold since they hit this trading post, this bank essentially, and robbed it and made off with the goods. They've gotten a little bit more bold since then, and the time it's taken you to step up and defend the Free Territories from the first incursion by the Empire and send them running. These bandits had some time to run amok, and they've been hitting up now actual trade caravans, some of which are fresh out of Akina, which you had all opened up and had increased their willingness to travel further south and to do more trade with the Free Territory. So that's because of you. And now these guys are trying to step in on the game that you helped set up. And we just can't have that, honestly.
Also, I have something in the trade agreement that mentions this specifically.
Before I can forget again, just in case it gets brought up, I forgot that I get a race feature since I'm at
Raise
level 5.
eyes.
I get the ability to cast Calm Emotions.
Oh yeah, you got your newest spell now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that I was going through my spell list, double checking what I had, and it's like, oh, it's not here, right?
Let me add that in real quick.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like, oh yeah, I remember that last week and then completely forgot about it in the shit show that my week has been.
This portrait.
That's going to be another at will, like your bless.
Yep, I can only use it once a day, but it's still there.
Let me get that set up for you. Yeah.
Mug.
What's up, homie?
This portrait of Rokan with those
Yeah.
bedroom eyes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that just handsome as hell?
Oh, he's so handsome. Mhm.
Let's see. All right, cool. Yep, there it is. Calm Emotions should be on this. Let me make sure it doesn't get overwritten.
There. Partly because I think we're going to need it this time.
But yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Like I said, I was just going over, double checking mentally, making my spell checklist, and it's like, okay, what can I do? It's like, oh yeah, that was the thing I needed to remember.
Yeah, you're level 5. You got a new spell level slot tier thing. So yeah, you get new stuff.
Like I said, that was a race thing. That's from my Kitsune side.
Cool shit.
Okay, yeah, I found it again. It's Article 2, Section 4.
Yes!
Member communities, in case of lost goods, can submit a complaint to Senate Council authorities. The Senate Council is engaged to cover 75% of profit losses and conduct an investigation as to the cause of the loss. So we here.
Here we are.
Complaint has been lodged. The investigators have arrived. Absolutely. And just as it so happens, their joining and officially adopting said agreement is contingent on their assistance here. This is one of those, before I assign this kind of things, maybe you could have somebody look into this for us. And so Sestia and Zolna were both like, yeah, that seems, I guess, like a reasonable request. There's no reason for us to refuse.
We'll put our best on it.
Top men.
Sometimes.
And then of course, our poor overworked bank guard outside is just now enjoying a smoke, and Aiden is hanging out with him. Aiden was really cool and lit his cigarette for him. What a homie. But yeah,
He's got
He could
Handsome bunny.
definitely sense his tension, so he kind of
Handsome bunny.
Give more. Mhm.
Mm.
And then there was, of course, Ned themselves, who was this very
them.
cantankerous, very excitable, it seemed, and very grumpy and gruff
Guess I'm looking at
individual who fired off a, what would have probably been a shotgun, but is in fact just a wand of scorching ray.
This making me want to redraw Fenny.
Then realizing that you were in fact the ones who had been sent here to help him investigate and recover, he hopes, the lost goods. He was much more agreeable and has invited you inside to his office. Looks like Wither and Philemy are hanging out in the bank's lobby, but they're welcome to join in, of course, if they wish.
Sorry.
Ken is
Slappy.
standing by the open doors so as not to crowd the room.
Slappy put it in my head, and now I have Rogan and Fanny sitting in a tree, breathing like 1963.
Hmm.
I was mid yawn, you asshole.
Yeah. Okay, looks like he might be a top.
Well, come on, come in. So how are you helping me? How are you helping me? What are you doing? What are you doing for me?
Well, we would first be abreast of the situation and conduct our investigation, and if we find the culprits, dispose of them appropriately.
I can't believe I had to tell a turtle this, but slow down, would you?
He reminds me of my grandfather. I can already. Zora's doing everything they can to, be the regal thing, but just when they have a moment, it's like, oh, this. I understand why my grandmother drank so much.
Ned will point at Zora. Your grandfather sounds like a great guy. I like him already. Now, since you apparently have not been appraised of the situation, been told what's been going on here, I will do so now with my precious money-making time. So, the other day, it was very early in the day, we have a weekly exchange that we do with the caravans. So what happens is the caravan from Bear Grass will come up to here. They will leave off goods and debt liens and all them economic paperworks. And he picks up all the different letters and pamphlets and all the paper on his desk and shakes them furiously at you.
Shake, shake, shake.
So I'm in here, I'm doing my paperwork. They're supposed to be taking care of it. So what happens is they unload it from the carts. They bring it in, put it next to the vault. When Rogan gets here, Rogan sets up, opens the vault, moves it in, checks off some more paperwork, brings it to me, I sign it off, and we go about our day. Well, this group of ne'er-do-wells, whoever they were, they seem to know the exact time to slip in, unnoticed, mind you, before Rogan got here, after the caravan had left, and after everything had been secured behind the locked doors of the front. And he, gestures off to his side. I think there actually is a window. No, I didn't put a window on that side. Okay. But, the doors that you walked in to get into the bank, he gestures over there. It's like, they were locked. Now, luckily, no one was injured. But they did bust up the place. We had to clean it up. And they did get away with all the goods. They hit us again later the same day when the opposite caravan, the one that we send off, was getting loaded. This time, they came in force. We didn't get a look at any faces. They all had masks on. But they all seem to be wearing this, dark green. It's like a jerkin of some sort. And they all had, green tights on. And had, really good dark leather, brown boots. Like you would, expect, workers to have.
Uh-huh.
So I came in, surrounded, with armaments, by the way. They do have weapons. Look like some very good, finely crafted. What I could see out the window was daggers, and Bose. Both times they knew it was going to be times when I was in here doing paperwork, and he again taps his desk and then shakes more papers. Rogan has to stay and watch the vault because we actually have the vault open at that moment while they transfer the money. So as soon as they came jumping in, Rogan slammed the vault shut, so they couldn't get in there, you know? But outside, they got all the money. That was all the
Good
gold
boy.
and all that. But they knew the exact timing. That's the thing. They knew when it was going to be on the ground, ready to be lifted and put into the cart so we could take it south. So that it wasn't in anyone's possession, it wasn't in the bank, it wasn't behind any doors, and it was fairly vulnerable. You know, considering that we still had, the caravan guards there near it. So somebody who knew our habits.
Did they take it by force? Was anyone injured, killed?
No one was injured. We went along with them. We didn't want to start a scuffle. This is why I hired the bank guard so that we have somebody here to defend us if they do show up again.
You didn't have these bank guards before.
We did not. No, we hadn't needed them. The caravan guards themselves had been more than enough.
I see.
And did you happen to see which way the general direction they went?
All I know is they scampered off in the woods. Now, I don't know if they kept going the same direction. I don't know if they doubled back, what have you. So, starting in the woods is going to be probably your best bet. Now, it was early enough in the morning that across the street wasn't open yet when the first incident happened. The second incident, she was open. The bakery was open.
Have
That
you?
across the street, that is Tiff. She runs the bakery.
We shall have words. Have you noticed anything unusual in the days leading up to the assault? If they have had eyes, if they know exactly what your habits are, that means that there are eyes on you. One way or another.
Or possibly an informant within your ranks.
That's one way of having eyes, yes.
Ned considers for a moment, giving Dove this very weighing glance, like he's trying to
They're
judge
impossible to
you.
distinguish.
Right? It's the same
What can I say?
I suppose I hadn't thought about that, but in retrospect, I do not remember anything out of the ordinary then around the days leading up to it. I don't remember anybody I didn't recognize taking a look at me. The inn next door seemed to have the same kind of traffic, people drifting in, staying the night. There was some old guy and some other people who, they wanted noodles.
I think the scariest part of this is I'm not detecting a lie at all at the moment.
Oh, noodles. Do you think these might be the infamous noodle bandits? I say as if
You
it's
think
under my
it's
breath, but
connected?
not actually. like stage whispering. Like, do you think it's the infamous noodle bandits?
I dig it.
And Yozora's
Possibly
headache
the
just
ramen robbers.
spiked.
The ramen robbers.
Hmm.
Oh, I hate it, but it's so good.
Can I?
Good as ramen.
Do I notice there's a headache?
Wait, what?
Do I notice that they're like holding their head or something for the headache?
I assume so if you've left the door open.
Now, let's not dismiss them as criminals. They're merely philanthropists.
Holy shit. That was such a
Tell
stretch, but I'm
me-
going to allow it.
Filmy will just reach around from around the side of the door frame, put her hand on Yozora's head, and use lay on hand to just.
To cure
Totally
the
good.
psychic damage.
I'm getting a headache, not psychic damage yet.
Oh, just wait, it's going to happen.
I'm going to walk away before that happens if this keeps going.
Do you happen to remember the number of the assailants?
I didn't see the group at the first one, but I did see at least two people darting off into the woods as I came rushing out to all the commotion. Now, in the second one, they had at least 7 of them. There was a bigger, gruff one that seemed to be the leader, and then they had a bunch of like little, like skinnier guys with like bows.
So, no, so no one got into the vault in either instance. Did they seem to be attempting to do so?
They didn't seem to be trying to do so at the moment, but I'm always worried about it.
They were
'Cause
content.
that's where we keep the money.
Yes. They were content with the contents of the carriage, the caravan.
It seems so for now, yeah. And what they could get that was about to go on the caravan south, yeah.
And
This
the
area being a convergence of trade routes might be its reason for being a target instead of the actual vault.
the contents of the carriage was cold hard cash, in addition to your notes of debt and collection. Yes.
They were also in the morning heist. The one they got in the morning, the goods that came up north from the south. Those had actual like raw textile trading goods with them. There would be like some foodstuffs, some textiles, like I said.
And the currency would possibly have been of ambient temperature.
What?
Owl, smaller words.
No, the stare is colder than colder than the money.
Just playing off Seldov.
Yeah. It's weird that the one who leans is the straight man.
Ah!
I thought I was supposed to be the team stick in the mud.
The contents
Oh,
of the first one was mostly supplies, or did with currency as well?
No, mostly supplies. Then, of course, all the notes of debt and whatnot. We're talking like land deeds, and there's a lot of money in them paper.
But of no use
Land
to
deeds.
anyone who is not the legal representative on that signed paperwork.
Yeah, but if they can pull us off, they gotta have a good forger, right?
Possibly. It does make me wonder if it is not the riches they're after, but perhaps anarchists. But we'll find out more.
I feel like that's even worse.
You would. First things first, I think, is finding out who and how this information is coming to light. How they know of your schedules.
I'd be curious to know that myself.
Have fun! I say to Yozora and Owl, and is there a window in this room?
There is. It is behind him.
Have fun! And I...
What? What? Why? Why are you going through my window? What's that about?
Worry not. Seldov has a propensity for dramatic entrances and exits.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Why is that dramatic? That just seems inconvenient.
Well, that's because a turtle
No, I
can't
got it.
climb.
Now I gotta
It
shut
does,
it.
it does generate a break of expectations, considering the common exit would have been the door.
Oh, I get it. Keep them on the toes. Yeah. Nobody sees that coming. Like, I didn't expect that. The guy just walk out the window like that. And it hadn't left me shook.
Now,
Y'all might be geniuses.
before our departure, this one would know if word has reached these parts about the currently spreading trade agreement.
Indeed it has. And he will open a drawer in his desk and pull out a copy. I was given this copy. I've been looking over it. Not truly terrible. Not truly terrible at all. Not one bit. But, I'm going to need I need this recovered before I even think about joining. So imagine if I was to join and already had a poor reputation of being able to take care of my funds.
Well, should our intervention here prove satisfactory, this is the quality of service you might be able to expect. Would you be to join this agreement?
Well, if you're looking for a tip, I don't have any cash on me. But
Insight
I'm
A
check.
donation, a
I'm
donation
just-
would be a
I'm
donation
sure I would
would
have
be
listened.
unnecessary at
If
this
we could
moment.
rely on that, if anything.
all right, but I'm so far satisfied with my care. Yeah, thank you.
And this agreement is glad to see you amongst its signatories.
Across the street, it's just. Pardon.
There's a sign in the door that does say it's open.
Okay. Oh, good. Open the door. Tingle, tingle. And hello. Tiff,
At the
is it?
moment, she's like bent over, like half in this oven. It looks like she's putting something in while trying to pull something else out.
I observe in this bakery. I check out the cake.
Also, yeah, I wouldn't be too far behind Seldova, just
Hmm.
making things clear. I would just wanted to know if he signed it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna bow and exit.
Dove was more than happy to just walk out the window and leave you all to do the interrogation of this guy. He'd had enough.
Tiff will squeak a little bit, and she will very deftly place the one tray that's in there, retrieving the other one that she was trying to get in the first place, spin around in this quick set of motions, looks up at you, nods, and then walks over to the countertop here. Hello, can I help you?
Hi there. I hope so. I heard that you may have been doing business the other day as the unfortunate events happened across the street at the bank. Did you happen to see anything? that
Oh,
occurred?
absolutely. I heard the commotion outside. I came to my door, opened it, looked out, and I saw everyone with their weapons. They all had like bows, so I immediately stepped back in and shut the door and locked it. No one approached, at least as far as I was able to hear. But I
trust you
did
heard
hear some
plenty.
shouting, and then I heard them all taking off.
Anything that they were shouting in particular? Threats?
There were some
Orders?
threats, and they were demanding that they hand over the money and step away.
They took money in the evening, and that was all they demanded.
That was all I heard, yeah.
All right. Well, please do not trouble yourself with the recounting of such difficult and, I am sure, frightening events. But prior to that, did you happen to have noticed anything unusual happening around the town? Anybody watching the bank? Anybody taking notes? Or anyone who looked out of place, who lingered perhaps a little too long?
I'll let you make the choice of a diplomacy or persuasion check.
We all have diplomacy.
Really? Why
It's
did I
just
think you did?
persuasion.
Yeah. Diplomacy is in Pathfinder.
Eh. So I need to just kill one system, I swear. Anyway.
Talk.
What was I thinking? Anyway.
Hmm. Yes,
Okay,
Pathfinder.
a 12.
Or intimidation for now. I'm not trying to intimidate the poor
I
mouse.
suppose, yeah, you could, yell at her.
Please do not
Tell me
trouble
what you
yourself
saw.
with bothering talking about this frightening thing. But what did you see?
Where's Rachel?
Where is she?
We're trying to bake my bread.
So she pauses for a moment and she considers. She does seem that she's listening a little bit more, perhaps, than she might have at the first, where she was just kind of just going over it. But now she's really considering her words. Your persuasion seems to have got to her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry. What was the question that incurred a persuasion check?
Did you see
Asking
any...
if you see anything suspicious or anything noticeable in the last few days, right?
Okay.
I step closer to the counter and just lean my elbows on it.
I'm not one to gossip normally.
Okay.
But the
Of
herbalist next
course.
door, Lindsay, she didn't go, I don't know, foraging, whatever it is that they do, for a couple of days, but still seemed to have enough money to pick up all the equipment she needed. Most recently would have been a few days ago that she would have had to go and pay for things, and she hasn't done any foraging, so she shouldn't really have been able to afford it. But maybe she's been doing better than I think.
Perhaps. Would you fancy that you have a general estimate of her financial situation? And this is outside of the usual for her.
It is unusual for her to not go foraging for any more than a day, really. I'd say more in the afternoon. She'd probably at least still go out in the morning. But for 2 full days, she didn't.
Just prior to the assault, was it?
Yes, I'd say it was within a few days of the incident.
How many, if you could perchance to recall?
Three. Yes, I'd say within the last 3 days. And it'd been a couple of days before that she would have had to go ahead and pay for her supplies and all the materials she needs in order to continue her foraging and her bundling and selling of all her herbs and reagents she finds.
Was that?
Sorry to disturb.
Oh,
This
hello.
one greets you. It could not help but overhear, as it was intently listening. There. Would you happen to remember what she was doing during those 2 days she did not leave to forage?
One day it seemed like she just stayed home. As far as I could tell, she didn't leave or do anything. Maybe she was just working inside all day, but I didn't really hear her. And usually you can hear. Sometimes she, will knock stuff over and there's like loud bangs and things like that. But I
Loud
didn't hear anything and I didn't see her
bangs?
leave. And the other day she was just gone. But
No
she didn't
sight of
take
her.
any of her foraging stuff.
Her clattering about her workshop is a usual occurrence. It did not
It
sound
is.
like there was any sort of scuffle, struggle,
No,
no
I
shouting.
wouldn't think so. Maybe she was struggling with her plants.
Thank you. This should be very helpful. I would like to get a read on her to see if she's telling the truth. And also, when someone says, I'm not one to gossip.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Bullshit.
definitely one to gossip.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, is she pot stirring? Does she, she giving us the raw tea, unsweetened?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Can I try a different insight? I want to try to kind of discern what she thinks about her.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, both of you roll
makes
your
sense.
insights.
While they're doing that, just because of what I'm doing over here, because they had to have eyes on this in some way, and while they're investigating the town, can I try and detect magic in the bank area? See if they might help with something.
Absolutely. And we'll get to the results of your detect magic in a second. As there, in fact, are results. All right, Dove, your read on her is that she's embellishing a little bit. she may have had these concerns and may have noticed these things because she's probably a very nosy, gossipy neighbor. But she may be stretching and embellishing how sure she is about things. Like her, oh, she didn't leave the house at all. She may not have seen her leave the house, but it's possible she did and just never noticed.
Hmm.
So you
Okay.
get definitely a little bit that she's. It's almost like she's trying to get her in trouble.
Right.
Like she wants you to suspect her.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not exactly that she's lying about it.
Right. And this sort of embellishment is maybe consistent with somebody who just loves to see drama, or
Perhaps.
somebody who is trying to bury her. I guess it's what Al was looking for.
Yeah.
And
like-
yeah, with your insight check, you get there's not any love lost between the two of them. You definitely get that she doesn't really like Lindsay, like the face she makes when she says her name, and how she kind of very much dismissively, like, you know, she waves her hands dismissively anytime she talks about when she goes out doing the foraging, like, you
forge or
know,
whatever.
like this lazy bitch just plays with flowers all day. So the little bit of that is what you're picking up there.
Might there
Would
be
you-
anything else that happened over the course of these days? Lindsay, notwithstanding. Any difficulties outside the bank directly, or what have you?
There is one more question this one would ask concerning Lindsay.
Tiff will look over at one who leans.
Has there been any significant change in her behavior since the incident?
Like her demeanor?
I suppose
Nervous?
not. She's been acting mostly the same, at least as far as I can tell. I would know more in a couple of days if she, say, for instance, goes and picks up her supplies again, as if, you know, she's been working and carrying on normally. I would be a little bit more suspicious for sure because, well, she missed those 2 days foraging and she hasn't sold anything from the last day or so that I've seen. So I would be very curious.
Well then, same. And there's nothing else that you happen to notice besides Lindsay? Everything else was pretty much normal, yes? Anything that you remember could be helpful.
She considers for a moment, then starts to shake her head, then pauses. Well, I suppose it's not really out of the ordinary, but there have been new strangers. You get used to strangers moving through here, being, you know, where we're located, and, you know, our tavern across the way there, people stay the night sometimes when they're traveling along the roads. So you get used to seeing, you know, people from the surrounding villages, their quaint fashion sense some of them have, and seeing what they like how many of them will stop at a bakery and have a tart, or some who stop at a bakery and are looking for the most boring and piecemeal bread in the entire cosmos. But regardless, you get used to seeing the same types of strangers. And I suppose there have been some new strangers recently.
For how long? How recent? Weeks,
The most
months?
recent, I would say, is about a week past.
Very metropolitan, very exotic. What are we talking about here?
Hi.
High Street.
I was only there for a few minutes, but there were two of them, and they were sitting at a table in the back and just conversing quietly with each other, and weren't even really drinking. They had water.
Oh. I
they know they're
scoff
gonna rust?
aghast. Oh, dreadful.
I remember they kept their hoods up. They weren't pulled forward enough that you couldn't see their faces, but they did keep them up.
This would be too obvious. What color hoods? And cloaks.
I think one of them was red, and the other one was a greenish brown.
Would you call the first one a riding hood?
No, it seemed more like a cloak and hood.
Well, thank you, and for your time, and for 2 of those blueberry bagels there, if you would. And I'll give her
Indeed.
3 silver.
But one last thing. On the subject of new faces, do you have an opinion to share concerning the recent additions, the bank guards?
Oh yes, he's a lovely fellow. He's always been a bit of a extra hand around town, doing odd jobs and the like, and now he's got this nice job as a bank guard. He's always been a nice person.
So, he was a known quantity before this new position.
Yes.
Understood.
All right, I will severely overpay her for for 2 blueberry bagels with cream cheese.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'll say thank you so much for your time.
Of course, and thank you. And she will quickly scoop up the money.
Hmm.
Now, as far as severely overpaid or not, those are pretty goddamn good when you get to them.
Okay, it's 3 silver
Yeah.
for bagels.
Like, I mean, you definitely overpaid.
Yeah, okay.
But like, how?
I hope they're
serious?
good.
Like, those are
Yeah.
pretty
Those are
good.
bagels.
Like, all right.
And I'll pass by Feldemy. Doing good.
He'll just nod and just nod and look at you like he's just keeping one.
He'll break. He'll take the half of his bagel, and because the other one's for somebody else. He's gonna give half the bagel to Philomene.
Ooh, he'll immediately take it wide open in delightful surprise and just start nibbling on it.
Well, Owl, I think we have a person of interest in this Lindsay, but and now my eyes will cast over towards the bank, and I'll join you in momentarily. There might be a person of interest of my own.
All right.
This
while
one
they've been,
does believe.
Go ahead.
This one does believe Lindsay merits a conversation. But this one would also look for other avenues of investigation.
Absolutely. Same. For the time being, I will make some inquiries. I will make some query at the bank.
Okay. While he's doing that, could I?
Oh.
Could I have a look, like a deeper look at the scenery? Maybe I try to find remnants of whatever scuffle happened.
Take a look around the crime scene? Absolutely.
Hmm.
We'll come back
Yes,
here in a
please.
second. We're going to take care of this detect magic up here with you, Zora, while you guys were hanging out talking to Tiff.
Oh.
So, Yuzora, as you cast your detect magic, you definitely notice that there are some things within the manager's office that light up, including the wand that you already know about, and a couple of other things you may not have known about.
Okay. Before they go back in there, anything else?
Absolutely, yeah. The bank teller windows are both magical, it seems. The vault itself seems to, have a little bit of like a magical hint, like some residue on it of some magic. There is some magic on Roken.
Hmm.
There is some magic on the bank guard on Rodney out here. Oh wait, that's actually on you. Yeah, never mind. Okay. There are some traces of magic here on this desk. And there is some magic on this window.
Okay, then. That is a lot of magic to start parsing my way around and trying to figure out what's what. I'm very specifically, I'm trying to look for anything that's like a, like, what is it?
It's like a
No,
scrying.
Yeah, scrying
Maybe
spell
before.
or anything like that. It's like, okay. Because obviously, like, I know what the wand is. I don't have to worry about what the wand does. The guy can't aim worth crap.
Oh, cool. Bing.
Oh, that helps.
There you go. Those are all the. Oh, forgot, Rodney. Those are all the magics you detect.
Hmm.
Okay, this is going to be a minute. Do I just roll an Arcana check for each of these while Dove does his thing?
That's going to be up to you. How would you like to investigate them?
You do know the school by the magic does tell you the school of magic that is on each of these things. Your spell does, so that's a good
Yeah,
start.
yes, it does.
Does it?
So-
It does. Yeah. Okay.
What schools am I dealing with here? Again, I'm looking for, I think it's whichever the hell scrying falls under. I'm blanking off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's it. Divination. I used to have a divination wizard. I miss him.
You just cast a divination spell.
True.
So I did.
Oh, that'd be such a
Okay.
pain in the ass. Like if there's a recursive feedback loop of divination, like it detects
just
magic
blinds
kept look.
Yourself every time.
Yeah, it's a bug. It's a bug.
As far as divination magic, the only one that you're getting any traces from divination magic is on the window.
Okay, that's going to be where I start my investigation, I guess, is just investigating what magic that is.
Okay.
Let Dove do his thing.
So yeah, Dove, as you come inside, you see Yozora, like probably like mumbling the ritual magic under their breath as they're, chanting and looking around for all the magic, and start looking at like maybe things you can't see right away, and they're like tracing lines in the air, and then they wander over to the window.
I see my colleague is hard at work already. Have you had breakfast yet? Rockin', was it?
Son of a bitch.
You can of course have Chibiusuke assist you.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, me or Dove?
Either
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
As Chibiusuke
flutes.
is your familiar, you can do as you wish with the familiar.
I want Chibi to help me, so let me get the next shot at that.
Absolutely. That is with advantage then.
I'll take that.
Broken, still, he's doing this. He's leaning on his elbows, his chin's resting on his hand, and he just rolls his eyes over at you like this very lazily, like, people, and looks at you for a moment, then looks at the bagel. Got that from Tiff, did you?
I did.
And you see him, his mind for a minute is like going, and he just, no, I actually hadn't had any breakfast yet.
Well, by all means. And I'll give him the full bagel. I just have the half for me, and I'll take out the half of the other one and start eating it.
He'll take it carefully, giving you this very suspicious look as he looks down at it, then up at you, and he sets it down without eating it for a moment.
Hmm.
Why?
Well, I figured I'd like to talk with you. And it's nice to talk over a meal. Or a snack, at least. Especially when talking to a snack. I wanted to ask
Roken
you...
steps back a little bit, folds their arms over their chest. They look down at the bagel, then up at you, and make a bit of a face. One conversation for one bagel. Agreed?
That sounds good for now.
Guy tries a hard bargain.
You're lucky Tiff makes really good bagels.
Certainly am. This is good.
So he'll
Just
step
tart enough.
closer, and this time he'll see him relax. He unfolds his arms, he sets them on the table, and he starts. He hasn't eaten it yet, but he starts like turning the bagel, and he's like picking at it, like pulling it apart in little pieces, but he doesn't eat any of them yet. So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, where to start? Well, you. In particular, I was wondering if you happen to notice any more eyes on you. And as I say this, I scan him up and down. More than usual, anyway.
He smirks for a moment and just gives you a look, and at the moment, yes. And also Chibi-Susuke is like flitting all around and like keeps running or flying over to you and then flying away. And so Roken looks up. I think your pet wants your attention. And he'll
Chibi's just being a
eat a bite of
pest,
bagel.
honestly.
For fuck's sake. Can it wait?
Chibi just sticks
Chibi.
their tongue out at you and like, eh. Trying to be a conversation starter, basically. And then
About to be a
flies off to
conversation ender. Come, shoo-shoo. Fuck. I break a piece of my bagel. Here. Occupy yourself.
And a bite later, and Chibi's going back over to Yozora, who's just like, really? And Sylvan.
Oh, do I know something?
What about
No,
me do you want to know?
I don't.
Draconic.
Well.
Cup
Plen-
size.
Yeah, plenty. But at the moment, I would like to stick with. I can tell. Working under someone like that, this job must be trying.
It's not so much Ned as it is just. Roken pauses and just shrugs and then gestures at everything. How everything is, you know?
Dissatisfied? Do you not like working with money, or do you not like working with people?
Yes. I don't know. It's just the most exciting thing that's happened in a long time is that some bad guys stole some stuff from us. And you know how bad that feels when that's all the excitement and you weren't even around for it? I don't know. It's just like every day is the same, you know? It's just, nothing. I just work and I just want to go home and I just want to like read and like sit down and like have some tea. Here we are.
You're gonna miss it when a squid face eats your brain.
I see. In all these dull days of doldrum, has anything unusual beyond that been happening? Have you noticed anyone queer around town? Present company excluded.
Not interested, Dove. Yozora calls over their shoulder.
I didn't ask.
Not really. Like I said, it's usually pretty dull. Tiff makes good pastries. The tavern's got cheap wine, cheap beer. They got at least good meat, I guess. So there's that. If you want to have like a nice steak or even a good beef stew.
Noted. Is that an offer?
Yeah, try it. You'll enjoy it.
Very well. So there's been nobody around watching the bank.
Not that I've
Taking
seen,
stock.
at least. No.
And when the first incursion, the first assault occurred, you hadn't arrived at the bank yet, correct?
No, I don't usually get in for like another 15 or so, like 10 to 15 minutes maybe, before I would have actually arrived. And it's usually fine, the front doors are shut, locked, and Ned's in his office, and he's usually got the door open, so, if something is out here, he should be able to see and hear it.
Right. Yes, so the caravan was outside, protected by its usual regiment of guards, and
Yeah.
somebody, a small party of individuals, I'm told, I guess, just somebody came up and fucked with them. Struck the
Yeah, there was a group out there. I was
caravan.
actually working when it happened. I was standing back here, and he gestures behind himself to the vault. Standing back here by the vault because the doors were open. Uh, while they get it on the caravan, they fill out their paperwork. They bring it back to me. I fill it out. They witness me shutting the vault, and there's the pomp and circumstance to it. And then everybody signs everything, and then I take it to Ned, and he signs more shit, and then we put it in an envelope, and no one cares about it ever again.
Of course. Yes. I understand completely the humdrum of bureaucracy.
And
Not all
as
of
per
my-
usual, the
Mhm.
front doors, and he gestures behind you to the actual doors, they were wide open, so I had to see the whole thing. The guards walked over to the caravan, set the thing down. Two of them walked away. One of them was still standing there. Then the other guys showed up. There was about half a dozen or so. One of them that seemed to be in charge.
The big one.
Yeah, it was a little bit bigger than the others.
That helps.
And they were yelling like, get away, get away, don't move. They looked at me, they yelled at me, told me not to move, don't even think about closing the vault or leaving the bank and all that. And I yelled for Ned, and Ned was like yelling out the window at them, and they were yelling at Ned to stay inside and not to move. And then they grabbed the stuff and they got out of here. Now they had to, and this I promise you, they had to have either some animals out there, like horses, in order to move all that cash any sort of real distance. Or they had to have some magic that would have made it easier. Because that's heavy. Even with a full team of guys, you're eventually going to get worn out just from the sheer weight of it.
It was that much in coin.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a haul, then. And both
Yeah,
of them to
it
strike
was
twice in the same day.
It was the monthly, not just the normal weekly. It was the monthly.
I see. So they knew well their schedule.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
means
they
that
knew exactly when to hit it.
either there was somebody, well, they would have had to have known of this for a full month, and you haven't seen anything in all of that time.
Nothing that I would have paid attention to. Like I said, I just here, just work, and then I just go home.
Well, it sounds like you need a little bit more incitement in your life. I'll tell you what.
I fully agree with that.
Once we conclude with our preliminaries here, getting the information that we need, if we find some time, I would love to investigate that tavern with you for your recommendations. My treat.
Roll that persuasion.
Not using my gaze yet.
I
I
thought you
don't
were.
need it. Oh, well.
Nice.
Well,
Oh,
doesn't
Game said Seldov's fucking.
Roken looks at the bagel, which is now more than half gone. They've been nibbling piece by piece.
I like
They
it.
definitely seem like they're probably a little bit more hungry than they might have lit on.
Mhm.
So maybe they're not even making enough really to afford a lot to
Aw.
eat, kind of thing. So
Oh.
his mind's made up pretty quick. Yeah, for a meal, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I can't pass that up. That sounds good. You let me know when.
Absolutely. If there's a convenient time, then I shall find out later. But for now, just back to the grind for me as well.
Yeah, happy grinding.
Oh, I do so hope.
You're welcome for the setup.
Mhm. You say you're reading. Anything on your plate right now? Anything across the desk?
Yeah, there's this story. It's about these like bards that they had like this ship that flew in the air, and they took it and they flew as far east as they could get to like visit some great empire. And they were from some like great empire themselves, but they flew across like all this land and like met all these crazy monsters and helped a bunch of people. And they had like encounters with like vampires and like you
Oh.
know like ancient mystical like ruins, and they got to be like the first people from their like empire, their land, their kingdom, whatever, and they were the first people to make it there, and they basically became like princes, like rich princes in the process. It was wild. But so far it's really good. It's the second time I've read it. I really like it.
Oh, oh, incredible! I take notice of how like suddenly loosened his tongue became when he's talking
Yeah,
about
he really likes
his
that book.
books. Oh, well, great. I have a few recommendations. I don't know how easy they'll be to find in. I must, like I started to say, like on this planet. I don't know how easy they'll be to find on around here, but we'll see what we can do. I've encountered a number of very adventurous stories myself. I'll be happy to
You're gonna
share.
have to tell me about them. Yeah.
Certainly. Enjoy the bagel.
Oh, there's something I'd like Solif to ask, but I don't want to be too meta.
Okay, so we have a moment. I've got to ask.
Sorry, I'm distracted by flirting. The
What's
actual
up?
investigation is.
You pulled the bard thing out, like my mind went to, is this about the road to El Dorado?
No,
Oh, that's
that is
good, though.
actually a old campaign where I was a player. I was one of the bards.
I like it.
Ah, okay.
Al, does it have to do with his level of discontentment and whether or not he would be a saboteur?
I mean, there's that, but I was also wondering what if he thinks the baker would be enough of a babble mouth to just let go of precious information. Maybe not
Oh,
even on
true.
purpose.
Hmm. He did mention him knowing Tiff. If it's acceptable, I think that is a train of thought that I had and got quickly derailed by wanting to fuck up Bonnie. If it's fair, then I'll take that reminder.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll like it's like Dove had a moment where they're like, oh wait, but also.
Oh, by the
And
way.
so while you're having that moment,
Mhm.
Yozora, your Arcana check. You take a look at this window, and on it, you don't see anything, at least at first. And then you start to see the very subtle, very well crafted, almost hidden from view traces of magic of an arcane mark that is infused with a permanency spell and with a non-detection spell itself, so that it is more difficult to see. FYI, you rolled with advantage the exact DC you needed to even have a shot.
Oh, fun.
Whoever crafted this was a very skilled, very high-level spellcaster. And you can see that it has been used recently to scry on the area.
Clever assholes.
Oh, on the subject of Tiff and her wonderful baked goods. Is that all she deals in? Is she somewhat... I kind of glimpsed that she may be a bit of a gossip.
Rokin will, for the first time, actually laugh a little. Just this. Yeah, she's a bit of a gossip. It's not a secret.
Oh, gossips tend to be quite naked about it. But has she been known in the past to at least be truthful in her tea spilling? Or does she stir the pot for her own?
She usually knows what she's talking about. She may, be blowing a little bit of smoke with it, but she usually knows what she's talking about.
Well, that's good to know. We wouldn't put any exaggerations to go muddying our facts now, would we?
Roka will kind of just shrug at that. Just,
Good. Well, then you have a wonderful rest of your day. Yozora, is your darling little butterfly settled down? Find anything?
Yozora doesn't respond because I'm gonna try. Well, first I've got this is a DM will ask me to pull this. Can I use the scrying magic here to try and scry back to whoever was doing the scrying?
unfortunately, no, it would not work that way. You just trace, or you are able to technically
Have
trace as a scry having been used here, but attempting to trace it back would be beyond your abilities at the moment.
Worth a question. Okay. Yozora is focused on the window for a little bit moment before realizing that, oh, hey, they were talked to. Sorry. Chibi was getting a little more free-spirited lately. Being a pest and whatnot. I think they're learning from you a lot.
I see. Well, thank goodness he's a cute one, which he also learned from us, clearly.
Yeah, no,
Yozora goes to respond but stops because there are people who don't know about their secret in the area.
How dare you? I'm cute.
I'm adorable. I'm adorable.
Yeah, it's like,
I keep my fur well to. Find
Also,
anything.
yeah, I wish, just like looking back at whoever's crying is literally like god level stuff.
That's like, that's for real. You need the FBI, is what you need.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that's why I was asking. Figured it couldn't hurt to ask. Anyways, well, I have found. I think I know how our intrepid bandits might have been observing for the money.
Oh?
Yozora gently knocks a knuckle on the window. This window has a scry spell basically embedded in. Okay, before I making sure I'm understanding this, the scry spell is basically embedded into this. Like this is a focus for the scry spell.
The arcane mark is the focus, yes.
Okay. There's an arcane mark here, and it's basically a focus for a scrying spell here, and it was used recently.
I'll get up all in the business. Do I see anything? Do I even see this mark?
Mm-mm.
I do.
No.
Oh no, I don't see the mark. Okay, yeah. It's like, oh really? An invisible one.
Yozora's going to reach up and just gently trace it, just to give Dove an area of where it is.
I see.
You said
Well,
it was
I don't,
used,
but I get it.
You said it was used recently. Can I tell how recently it was?
Not with the 23, no.
Damn. Yeah, I know it was used recently, but that's the best I can give us.
That's a very good start.
Yeah, does tell us that whoever did that, it's a safe bet that the bandits that are stealing the gold have a pretty powerful mage amongst them.
If not among them, then it's in some way facilitating them. Brocken, has there been any construction here recently? Any improvements to the bank? Anyone working on the facility? I don't want to ask Ned, he's a lot.
Undignified snort escapes Yozora's control.
Broken shakes his head. No, nothing like that. Not for months.
Months? All right.
Yeah. We had some, and he points up, he said, some of the roof replaced about 9-10 months ago.
Some sort of damage, a lightning strike, some kind of incident, tree falling, I don't know, whatever.
Rough weather.
Oh. All right. 9-10 months. Good to know.
Would I be able to reasonably say that it was used more recently than that?
Oh yeah, you're pretty sure that this has definitely been used more recently than 9 or 10 months ago.
Okay.
This is something
Yeah.
that was used recently, you say?
Yeah,
Was it
Definitely
made
a lot.
recently?
I don't think I can tell with the 23.
What was the question?
How recently was the arcane mark made?
Ooh, no, you don't know that with a 23.
Like I said, okay. It's like Yozora shakes their head. It's like, nope, I can't identify it. I know it's there. I can see
Okay.
it barely, but it's there.
It's not
But other
impossible.
than that,
It may have been here for a long time. This has been a slow game.
my question then would be
We'll
why?
Well, money speaks volumes, but it's worth looking into. That's a lot to go on. Shit. Good job, Foxy. And I'll head out.
Foxy. Eh.
Just a grumble playing along. It's like, still too old for you.
All right, outside the bank, while they were inside having their chit chats and investigating this,
And
one
floating.
Orleans, what have you been up to?
I've been looking up at a tree and
Sultry,
going,
hey!
Wither, if you would assist this one.
I didn't see the chat for a second. Hey, Sultry. Hey.
Wither is kind of looking over the lay of the land, so to speak, trying to see if there is any kind of pattern of, like if he can sense where there is life among, like beyond the town itself.
Make me a survival check.
Pling.
It's a forest. Everything's alive.
Technically. The forest definitely gets into its thicker states. Somewhat to the
Same.
Bruh.
somewhat to the east of here. And you can see that it starts around some low hills and some mountains. Like a couple like little peaks over there.
Yeah.
And that's where the forest seems to be getting into its thickest. Other than that, you don't get a whole lot from a quick glance around.
Okay.
Hey.
So he kind of looks around, but I don't like sense. I with a quick glance, I don't sense anything really like anything other than like animals and stuff like that in that range.
No.
Okay. He looks down to one who leans and just kind of hops back down from the tree, and he's curious on what he wants him to do.
Your vision acuity is superior to this one. It would like to assist you in investigating the
No.
crime scene.
But no.
Perhaps there are details that the local residents have missed.
Kiss, kiss, kiss.
What?
Yeah, basically, you got better investigation than I do, and I want to give you advantage on it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to. Okay, so Wither will kind of just look around and see if anything kind of seems out of place in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe a way of seeing where tracks had gone for
Yeah,
this.
just a general thorough Sherlock Holmes look.
Yeah, certainly.
Go ahead and roll that investigation with advantage.
And it's shift for
Yeah.
for advantage, right?
You can definitely see scuff marks and scrape marks along the road, which does have, in this area at least, a little bit more of the stone to it than you might have been used to around like Bonnock 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So there definitely was something very heavy that was placed on the ground here, and it was moved very suddenly and unexpectedly. You can see the scrape marks from that. You can see tracks from several different individuals. Of course, it's been a few days since then, so there's other tracks and marks mixed in with them. But you do see where there is at least one arrow, the shaft of which has been broken, and the arrowhead of it has been stomped into the ground so that it is flush with the earth around it. So that's why no one stepped on it and hurt themselves. And the back half of it is along the edge of the road, where it looks just like a stick until you get a little bit closer and realize that it has fletchings on it.
Hmm. Does it look of a particular quality or like anything like that?
It is what you can assume is a well-made arrow normally. This looks like it has unfortunately just been left behind and has been broken probably as people were leaving and running away. And you can see tracks leading away and heading off in several different directions, including a pair that was of heavier weight, likely with the very heavy goods that moves away to the south.
Feature.
Whether kind of kneels down and they're like clear. They're clear tracks, and it. Am I able to kind of track that?
They are
See...
able to be picked out in your investigation, and you can follow them. Yes.
Okay. So he kind of kneels down, kind of runs his hand over the deeper, heavier track, and kind of slowly starts to follow each track, noticing each step that was taken. Are the scrapes from the heavy object following in that same pattern as well?
You don't see those after a while.
Okay. How far now? If I were to would have gone back like past this tree?
Oh yeah, it goes
And-
out a ways into the woods.
Okay. He just kind of follows it and stops at the tree he was at, and he was like, he looks back to one who leans. It looks like a heavier set person was headed this direction, and he it kind of feels like he is in this. It might be the possible leader that the bank teller, the the loud and obnoxious one, I guess I could say, was talking about.
Okay.
Thank you, Davy Crockett. Hmm. Okay.
Philemy, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been petting Hayden while waiting outside until Zelda will have stepped out, at which point Phil will have tapped him on the shoulder and pointed at the lock on the door, trying to get him to check the lock.
Oh. Rodney, was it?
Oh, yes, sir.
You've been around town for a minute, right? And I'm just going to start investigating this lock while I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
Looking for
Born
signs
here.
of damage or
And raised.
picking or whatever.
Go ahead and make an investigation check. And you will have advantage on it since you're just so familiar with locks in general.
Sick. Meow.
That's a pretty good lock. It would probably challenge you. in order to attempt to unlock carefully and quietly. It wouldn't be impossible, but it would definitely be one that you would remember.
Okay. A worthy opponent. So I'm checking
Yeah.
this out. And do you like this job? Ned notwithstanding.
I mean, I don't mind it. It's, it pays and I get something to do.
It's a bit better than being a gopher, freelancer, whatever, a hand about town.
Yeah, I haven't had to really carry anything too heavy.
That's
I
good.
kind of like that.
And hey, a little time to stand around and have a nice smoke.
Oh boy, you're not kidding. That's real nice.
Ah, agreed. Even better would be if we were to have a drink, but they probably don't want you drinking on the job now. And I take out the
That
flask.
one was pretty clear. Yeah, they
No,
said not
do
to do
that.
that. Considering I'd have to go into the tavern to do it, I'd be over there and I wouldn't be here, so I wouldn't even really be able to do my job.
That's
so Ned
true.
was pretty against it. But,
Now that would be a shame, but if you didn't have to, then they wouldn't mind it, I'm sure. And I'll just pass them the
yeah,
flask.
probably.
Pass them my flask of, This one's darkly sweet. It's like a smoother Kraken.
Okay. I get you.
Because that's not hard to be smoother than Kraken.
He will very like he's done it a million times, I'm sure, as you can imagine. He will humbly accept it, quickly open it, take a quick drink. Good. Yeah, if I didn't have to leave, I'm pretty sure it'd be all right. Especially if they didn't find out. Who cares?
Yeah, of course. So you weren't a guard yet. You just started this. If you saw anything around town before that, since you've been so handy here, you'd tell me, right? Did you happen to find anything, see anything unusual happening around town in the days leading up? Days, weeks, months, whatever the fuck, leading up to the
No.
assault.
Nothing really too out of the ordinary. No, everybody's been pretty okay, pretty just relaxed. Ned's always been, cantankerous like that. Roken's real quiet. Tiff makes, she's good pastry. She's a bit of gossip though, so anything she says,
Noticed.
pinch of salt with it, of course. Lindsay's mostly quiet, keeps to herself. Ransden over there, he runs the tavern. He's a real nice guy. He'll help you out with just about anything and everything. He's even let me stay at the inn a few times when I needed a place to stay and I didn't have, money. He would be like, I can't do this all the time, Roddy, but he let me do it.
Seems like a sweet fellow.
Yeah, everybody around town's been pretty okay. We're getting, travelers every once in a while. They've been pretty okay too. Nobody's gotten rowdy and drunk lately. That's been nice.
Business as usual around town, then.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say even the fact that we haven't had a bar fight in probably a good 2-3 months at this point is honestly just maybe a little bit out of the usual. But I didn't think anything of it because who's going to complain about a lack of bar fights?
Tell me more about what's this, Radnick?
Who the runs the tavern?
Yes.
Oh no, that's Ransden. Yeah, he's
Ransden. Yes,
an
of
older
course,
guy. Apparently he
Sorry.
used to be I think he worked at Bear Grayus. I don't know what he did. I don't really ask. We don't really talk. We're not like enemies or anything, but we're not friends. But like I said, he's a nice guy. He's willing to help you out with anything and everything. But yeah, he runs the tavern. He's a pretty good guy. Pretty good chef too.
Friendly enough to put you up for the night, I'd say. So you do
Yeah,
favors like
right?
that for
What a
most of
good
the
guy.
town.
No, I could say it about most anybody. Like Lindsay wouldn't let me stay with her, I'm sure. Tiff probably would be like, no, and Ned's already said no multiple times. And the few times he's caught me sleeping in his garden, he chases me out.
With the wand.
No, that was before he got it, actually.
Oh, I see. Bellamy, it's pretty solid. I don't see any signs of obvious damage, right?
Yeah, there's no signs of damage to it, no forced entry. As far as you can tell, it wasn't even disturbed.
Looks like no one's been bothering with the front door in all of this mess. In fact, Bellamy, here's where I found something of interest. We'll speak on it at further length. At least, well, we'll do the talking.
Felony will nod and start just looking around the building for anything of note from the outside.
While I was
Okay.
in there, how did that vault look?
As far as you could tell, the door looked rather secure, rather solid.
With much of a closer look, I wouldn't really grasp the make and model of the safe door or anything.
From your expertise, you recognize what looks like a expensive investment.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That is my expertise. I know when people drop money on something.
So the one thing that Ned probably did spend money on was the vault door to keep his money safe.
Good shot.
Which doesn't surprise you, I'm sure, at all.
Oh no, not in the least. Well then, enjoy standing.
Yeah. Thanks, again for the, any winks at you.
Of course.
Dove,
Anything new?
it appears Wither has spotted some tracks leading southward.
Oh. Handy. Yuzora spotted something of interest as well. I'm sure they'll speak on it with more expertise than I. Shortly. Have you spoken to Lindsay yet?
This one is not.
We'll get to that.
No. While these tracks do appear to lead in a particular direction, it could simply be the way the bandits exited the settlement. There's no guarantee this direction will be followed the whole way through.
True.
However, it is better than nothing.
It certainly is. And of note is that the amount that was pilfered was of great enough quantity that transporting it would present a hell of an issue, if not for the assistance of beasts of burden, or perhaps magical means like a wide-mouthed bag of holding or something. One of those holes you can throw down on the ground.
Have you gotten an inkling of the amount in question?
If I go by the amount of weight that was described, would I have like a lower limit on how much was taken? Like it's going to be probably around the shooting up in the tens of thousands.
Yeah. You probably would have a chance to at least guess at it. Go ahead and roll a history check. And then I'll give you a figure, and how close to the actual amount it is will depend. All right, so you're pretty sure it was at least in the tens of thousands.
It was a monthly deposit, a monthly transfer, and it's going to have to be tens of thousands at least if we're going to a city like did dude call it bear grass? It's like
Yeah.
Fucking Ned called it bear grass. Of course he did.
Yeah, well, yeah, with his accent, Bear
Yeah.
Grylls sounds like bear grass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If it's going to a major commercial thoroughfare like Bear Grylls, then we're dealing with a lot of money, tens of thousands of gold, surely. Not to mention the whatever secure containers there are, how thick metal that is, or whatever. It's going to be a lot, and it would have been heavy. I look around at where Wither climb a tree.
Are you back up in the tree with her, or are you on the ground?
Nope, I'm on the ground by
Okay.
by one of the tracks, waiting to keep going, not wanting to leave everybody behind.
I glance around. Do I see the heavy scrape marks that Wither?
Absolutely, yeah.
I would point them out anyway.
Right on.
In
Oh,
in this case, a way to confirm your hypothesis would be to look at cart tracks. If they get significantly deeper, after the disappearance of the scraping. It would indicate transportation through physical means. However,
Indeed.
if it is not the case, looks at the tracks.
Well, let me see what I can see here. I'll look for exactly that. I'll look for the incidence of the scrape, where it goes and where it tapers off, and see if there are
Okay.
cart tracks or anything suspicious, anything sussy-wussy. If it cuts off very suddenly, as if it were pushed into a portable hole.
Okay.
Or anything.
Go
of the
ahead
sort.
and make that check while you do that. Philemy,
Please.
while
it
you're
can be
over
perception.
here,
Mm,
go ahead and make a perception check.
does it have to be survival? Can it be perception?
I said go ahead and make an investigation.
Look, it's as good as either of those.
Advantage because I'm helping?
You do have advantage on the check, yeah?
Okay, good. Okay, good. That's not bad.
Philemy, you notice there is a tree off this direction a little bit that is almost in direct line of sight with this window. And then Dove, you absolutely notice that yes, there is the scrape marks as it was moved around and then picked up, and you were able to tell the moment it was transferred to being carried, as there are a couple of the heavier footsteps that Wither has been tracking.
Oh, shit. But look at this. Look how deep these boot marks go. There are boot marks, right? You did say,
Yeah.
Nice work. He described, I mean, I'm not going to meta it. He, Errol Flynn was spotted in the area.
I'm gonna go and investigate the tree that you mentioned.
Absolutely. Go ahead, head on over to the tree. We'll come back to you in a second, Philemy.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, goodness. The boot marks get significantly deeper. They're carrying by hand? Holy shit. How many boot marks do there seem to be holding this massive payload?
2, it seems.
2!
2 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 sets. Yeah.
Two persons.
Yeah, 2 persons.
This is... That amount of money is not a 2-person job. But look.
Then perhaps we deal with someone of significant strength.
To say the least. Huh.
All right. While you're taking a look at that outside, back in the bank, Yozora, what else are you up to?
Well, I'm currently curious about the magic that's on the table, because I can sort of figure out what's going on with, or I can guess what's going on with the teller windows. I assume that's the banking magic of some sort, or something to help with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be waited for a moment. I would assume that whatever magic's on the bank vault itself is to keep the bank vault from being messed with. So that leaves me with, and then again, there's whatever the heck's on Rockin and the bank guard out there. Is it Rockin?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a day. That basically leaves me with
later.
3 sources of magic I haven't been able to reasonably identify that's not attached to a person, and 2 attached to people. Like, again, I don't have a guess on.
Mm-hmm.
And every little bit helps, right?
Okay.
So I am taking a look at this one.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
And with Chibi helping me with their ability to senses and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Bellamy, does Yozora see
Fuck!
your mug just kind of like boop, into the window as you're walking by?
Okay, the dice don't like me. Great.
All right. As far as you can tell, this here, with your detect magic, was of the enchantment school.
Okay, so an enchantment. Probably something to keep it looking nice.
but your Arcana check does not reveal much more than it looks like the pins might be magical in some fashion.
Notary
The-
shit.
Yeah. Something I probably see plenty of back home.
If the cargo was indeed carried by hand, and considering the absence of consideration for dissimulation of tracks, it stands to reason we should be able to follow those to a drop-off point.
Probably. Wither, what do you make of those tracks there? I'm not an expert in this sort of thing, but it looks like they're. Does it look like they're like once the weight is transferred to these two sets of boots? Does the stride narrow considerably?
It does narrow, where they're definitely, carrying something heavy, as far as you can tell.
And not with great ease, so they're not
Yeah.
galloping like a gazelle while they're carrying
No,
this.
no.
Wither kind of looks over at Dove and is just like, it seems like they are heading towards the south. So, and it does look like they are they were significantly slowed. So, we might be able to easily find a way to see them.
And they haven't covered their tracks. They haven't been concerned about that. One thing I can tell about this is that these thieves are making a show of it. They robbed this bank twice in the same day, in broad daylight, in front of everyone, made no attempt to cover their tracks. They want to be seen, as if they're making an example.
It does seem pretty bold, doesn't it?
But I won't make too many assumptions before we get more information from the townsfolk, yes?
A wise decision. But in the event that this was indeed the intent, would you recommend exemplary retaliation?
I thought you'd never ask. Happily.
Philomene. As you get closer to the tree, go ahead and make another perception check. On the side of the tree, facing the window and the building, there is a very obvious spot where you can tell that a dagger has been driven deep into the tree and then removed later.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And it looks fairly recent.
Hmm.
And do I see anything else?
There doesn't appear to be much else around there.
Philomene is going to go and gather Wither, Yozora, and Pasi and Zelda.
Still investigating my magical crap, making sure nothing's out of place to the best of my ability, and
Absolutely.
putting off going into the room with Ned.
These two here are absolutely of the enchantment school, and no need to even roll on them. You could tell right away that these are made to enhance communication through the teller windows so that you can hear and be heard more easily and more directly.
Oh,
It's
no.
basically a
Again,
directed
intercoms.
thaumaturge.
Yeah, little intercoms. That's cool.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Like I said, I figured there's going to be something similar to something like that.
And the vault door, as best you can figure from where you are without being able to investigate further, does seem to have a little bit of magic on it, likely to keep it secured.
Okay. Next up is just being polite to Roken.
Hmm. Oh, a little emo misanthrope.
Yes. Speaking politely, it's like, pardon me, may I have a word?
I love him.
Did you bring a
I love
bagel?
Rapkin.
Yozora blinks, casting
Aw.
back to what they might have been overhearing from Dove's flirting. No, I haven't gone to the bakery yet.
What do you want?
I'm merely curious I can detect magic upon you, and I'm making sure that I'm checking for any ways people could have been keeping an eye out for the money.
And
Like I said, I can detect magic on you, and can I detect what type of magic it is?
it is of the Conjuration School.
Okay. I detect conjuration magic upon you.
Oh my god, if
Yeah.
this little bunny, if this fucking literary bunny has like a Kindle on it, like a fucking headphones with Audible, I'm gonna be just so tickled.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure it's nothing that we have to worry about. Cross off and make sure everybody's clear.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, first of all. It's got to be some sort of mistake. Like maybe you're reading the magic from the windows. You know, we speak through them and people can hear us better. Or, you know, there's some magic on the vault because I don't have any on me.
Yeah, I sort of picked up the lie detected.
Or is he? Does he know?
The fact that Mog put a thing in there of lie detected warning.
Okay, nice.
I'm
yeah,
not.
popped up a
I'm,
message for Kitsune.
yeah, I'm not metagaming. I promise.
Sweet.
It's like Yozora's eyes just narrow. Please. I don't make mistakes like that, especially with something as simple as a detect magic spell.
I'm not saying it's your fault or anything. Like I said, the magic here is weird. It's so, you know, cluttered up together. I'm sure it's, you know, messing it up. But yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I mean, I'm sure that if it was nothing, you wouldn't mind making. Bleh, sorry. I just tripped over my own tongue. Give me a second to get myself back into this.
Exploded.
Okay,
That's
let's
quite
try.
the tongue.
Really?
Hmm.
I'm just
Go
about
on,
to try and get
go
back in the
on,
character,
go
and you make me blue screen again. Damn you.
Proceed.
I mean, I'm sure it could be nothing. I mean, mistakes do happen, but at the same time, it does leave one open for curiosities if that's the only mistake I've detected.
I don't know if it's the only mistake you've detected. You might have detected other mistakes. I'm just saying this one's a mistake. I don't have any magic on me.
Yeah. With the detect magic and whatnot, I know you said I can detect it on him. Can I tell where on him it is, or would that be an Arcana check?
It appears to be in his pocket.
Okay, can I see what's in his pocket then? Just from looking at him.
No. It does not appear, as far as you can tell from just looking at him, that he has anything in his pocket.
Oh, one of those times where I really wish I could do sleight of hand crap. I don't think I have anything I can really do on this. Okay.
I'm sure
Then-
I'll be rummaging through those clothes later.
Yep. Well, let me ask this simply a straight up yes or no question. Are you involved with the... Are you directly involved with the people who stole the money?
What? Are you crazy? Of course not.
Right then. I will take you at your word for now.
It's because I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, this I have no doubt of this particular statement. And Yozora's going to turn and walk away with that ominous just note there.
What the hell does that mean? And his hand drifts into his pocket.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I can't really do anything else on that point. Okay, time to steel myself and deal with Ned, so I can get the hell out of here. A polite knock, and Yozora will enter.
Huh? Have you done figured it out? What you got?
I'm checking for
Where's
sources.
my money?
Sweet.
I'm checking for sources of magic that might be a lead on how they were able to discover to acquire the money.
So you don't have it?
Oh my god.
That's what I just said.
No, you
Buddy,
didn't
we
say
just got here.
making magic.
I'm
Fucking
going to
magic, dude.
pointedly ignore him, like Yozora's going to pointedly ignore Ned like they would their grandfather at this point, and take a look at the two pieces of magic that aren't the wand.
What are you doing in here? Well, I didn't take it. It was my money.
I'm well aware of that, sir.
Oh god, I can hear him from out here.
My mind honestly went to J.G. Wentworth. It's my money. I want it now.
All right, here on the shelf, you detect some transmutation magic.
I don't think that's going to be worth anything for spying. And what's on the other side?
On the other side is evocation magic.
Evocation. I'm completely drawing a blank here. What is evocation?
Elements.
Yeah, evoking the elements. So usually like your fireballs, rays of frost, and whatnot. You
Okay.
evoke them.
Can I see what they be attached to? Either of these two? Because I know
You
they
don't
don't.
see whatever this is right away, but over here on the or in the cupboard, you see a lantern that might be the source of that magic.
Okay, so
Mhm.
just muttering under their breath, evocation and transmutation. Not particularly useful for that, nor would they have any correlation with the window. Okay. And I'm not detecting anything other than the wand at that point, right?
Nope. That's it.
Okay. It appears your office is clean. And very quickly just turns around, walks out, closes the door.
I told you!
Meanwhile, Philomene is trying to get her Withers and Dove to go and investigate the tree Wither.
What'd you find, girl? What'd you find?
What you find, Jesus?
She's gonna roll her eyes at Dove, like
Did
most
Wither fall down the
typical
well?
eye roll you ever see. Okay, at the sound of that, she shoots Yozora a death glare.
For the record, that was above the table.
Oh,
Yozora
okay,
literally
good.
just
Yeah,
walked
Phil.
right.
What are you doing to try and get their attention?
I'll just point in the direction of the tree and try to sign to them to follow me. Oh, and also I also point. I'll also try to grab Wither's attention from all the way where he is.
So yeah, you got Philomene come over trying to get everybody's attention. She keeps pointing over at a tree off to the side of the bank over there and like waving her arms like, come on, come on.
I give Wither the pss, pss, pss.
Wither kind of looks up and just kind of looks over, pulls an arrow out of his quiver, and marks where the last trail that he had footprint that he had
Okay.
found, just to keep it in
Cool.
fresh in his mind, basically, and then walks over.
Basically, a bookmark hero.
Yeah.
Basically, yes. Yes,
Felmy will
Filmy?
also sign for Yozora to come. Then she started heading toward the tree.
I'm going to check about the magic on the guard before we do that.
Come.
If I can identify what type of magic it is real quick.
It is of the enchantment school.
Enchantment. Okay.
Enchantment.
Can I identify where on him it's coming from? Like a sword or something like that? Since
It does seem to be the sword at his hip, yeah.
okay. In that case, I don't think I need to worry. It's probably just like something simple, like a +1 sword or something like that to help protect or deal with things. And now, since I get the attention was gotten, let's go follow Felmy.
Who?
So, Philomene, when you get everybody out there,
When
do
he
you
asks
point
us-
out what you found earlier?
Yeah, I point out the tree and specifically the mark where the dagger was sunk in.
Oh.
It definitely looks like it was of a good quality dagger, most likely, as far as you can tell there, Dove. You've seen a knife wound or two in your time, I'm sure. This is one that was clean and quick.
Was it thrust into the tree with great force or thrown?
It definitely seems like it was thrust. It was not thrown, because it's not at like any sort of an angle. It's very straight on.
Now, would it have? Does it feel like it had any kind of weight put on it, like maybe as a
Like
way
hung
of
from
maybe
it?
getting up in,
Like hung from it? Or pulled on?
or like to where the dagger might have bent a little bit, and maybe as a way of getting up into the tree.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Meanwhile, I'll point out to
Man.
Yozora that the tree and the dagger mark are aligned with the window.
So it is a direct line of sight. The
It would
insertion
have
of the
line of sight to the window, yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, it was good, but if I didn't dip a level into cleric, then we could have asked the tree directly.
yeah. Where'd you get that scar?
What happened, dude?
Yozora's just
Sorry.
blinking. He's like, that seems really counterproductive to use a scrying type spell from this tree.
Yeah,
Just
is there any magic that is seen there?
By the way, would that be with or without with advantage?
If somebody wants to assist you, you can absolutely have advantage on that.
Somebody else. I want to do my own looks at it with my own dark intent or whatever.
Does it look like Wither needs
guess my
help
own
with
perspectives.
it?
Probably not. I should be okay, but
Yeah, Philomene, if you would like to assist, whether you absolutely can. No reason why
Yeah,
you
I'll,
couldn't.
I'll be assisting because I want to get to the bottom of this dagger mark.
Hmm.
it didn't matter. But oh well.
It does not seem that there was any weight applied to the dagger.
And time to check for magic.
Yosora, do you see any? Did you find anything else in the bag? There was that window is very obvious interest.
Yeah.
And the fact
We're
that
just
she's
going to
lined
hold up
up-
a finger just a second while they check for magic on the tree dagger area
Sure.
with the help of Chibi. Okay, apparently the dice
Yeah.
don't like me much. Okay.
There is a hint of magic lingering around the knife wound.
Oh, fun. I can't tell what type it is, but there's a bit of magic here. just tracing their finger over the, for lack of a term, scar, the cut. It's too faint for me to get a good read on, though.
You found the magic so easily in the bag. Can you not see it clearly out here?
Yuzora shakes their head. It's like something. I'm not sure if it's the type of magic or if it's been transferred, hell, even the tree itself, or just the elements. Because who knows how long it's been like this. I can't get a good read on this, and as opposed to the bank where that the window is stagnant. Even like this, the tree's growing, healing, cycling energy.
It does look recent. Above table, I'm pretty much saying is your detect magic still up.
I think it's been over a minute.
It lasts for 10.
Yeah, less
Oh.
for 10.
Did you leave it up, or did you?
Yeah,
dismiss
I
it?
had no reason to take it down at the moment.
Okay.
Sorry. It vanished on me. I'm like, oh, it's just a minute, and I've wasted my minute trying to investigate around.
I mean, it's probably not, but I'll look over the tree, see if anything druidic has happened to it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I cannot maintain concentration on more effects. Good to know.
Hey, do plant shit.
I'm gonna do plant shit.
Actually, mushrooms aren't technically speaking plants.
I don't want to hear it.
No, but the tree is.
Yeah, the tree is. He's a druid. Yeah, does Yuzora see the school of magic on it?
It does not appear that you're able to see what school of magic it was.
Yuzora shakes their
queer.
head. I can't tell. It's
Really?
yeah. It's.
Huh.
I'm guessing it's just been just long enough. It exposed to the elements and the natural healing and cycling of the energy of a tree that I can't. It's barely here.
Your
Or
best
perhaps-
guess.
Or Occam's
Is that-
dagger is that someone's hiding it.
Your best guess is that no spell was cast at all, but that the dagger itself was very likely magic in some way, and its magic has faded after being removed from the wound.
Yeah, I'll relay that. It's like I don't think the magic was cast. Dagger might be the dagger that was used here might be magic similar to yours, gesturing to the dove. Maybe not the exact same, but a magic dagger nonetheless. And now, since it's not here, it's not perpetuating the magic, the energies.
It was
see.
Blinky. Elam was here.
Shifty.
Just shift you, yeah. I'm gonna wave my hand and druidcraft to heal the wound on the tree.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, shit. I want to try to inspect. Yeah, Dove's like, oh, don't fix it.
I mean, I can stop if you interrupt me.
Mhm.
Just want to
Not
wave
yet.
my hand and say these aren't the druids you're looking for.
Oh, no. Damn. Oh, before we remove all evidence, I want to look. It looks like a nice dagger. Does it look jagged? Does it look like an assassin's dagger? Does it look like a sturdy, thin stiletto, or like a katar?
Go ahead and make that investigation check.
Anyone help?
I mean, somebody who's got the best investigation. I think Wither, maybe, or maybe Yozora. I don't know.
I have a 3 in my investigation.
Wither
I
has a
mean,
4.
Wither was already investigating it, so yeah, that
Yep.
makes
So
sense.
I've
that
already
we'd have
got
to check
I've
it.
got an investigation on it. So I don't know if that I don't think I can assist as well. Can I?
Okay, can I make it a huge stretch? And since it's a tree and I'm a
Maybe.
druid, can I try medicine?
Wouldn't no offense, but wouldn't nature work better? Just
Nature would work better.
Shh!
But
Don't.
no. Does anyone want to just like give me a little advantage? Just be like, look.
Yeah, does anyone
Stop.
want to assist Dove in their investigation check?
No, I'm assisting anyone that wants to
Say-
investigate.
Yeah, I'll,
Thank
I'll,
you.
I'll assist. I'm not doing anything else.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you. I guess the kind of dagger, the kind of mark, what kind of dagger was used, and maybe the savagery with which it was thrust. Savagery, professionalism. Is it clean?
It was a very slow, deliberate push to carefully place it in an exact spot, and an equally careful removal of what was very much a pointed stiletto-like dagger, likely a needle dagger of some sort.
Okay.
And you also notice some boot prints around the base of the
Oh,
tree.
good. I guess as I sort of line myself up, I step in such a way that one would lean and thrust. Slowly, I look down and I'm like, oh. And I guess I see the posture that would suggest that, yes, someone was slowly inserting it in there.
Felony will mime the direct line to the window and will just take out a paper and on it write crying or real or magical relay.
Something like that. Yozora did find something, apparently a very skilled practitioner, put some scrying on that window. May have been there for a long time as far as we can do or do not know. This was very much on purpose. The way that it's facing, the way that it was slid in. Can I see if there was, like, any sort of injection of something into this tree from this wound?
Probably
yeah,
could.
would give-
Or could
Probably
one
I
who
would-
leans?
Maybe I would have a better chance of seeing that. Yeah.
Probably.
if you
one-
wanted to do a nature check on it, one who leans, you absolutely may.
Okay, so I wouldn't
Oh.
not have a better chance of seeing it, but
Oh, but I will help, if I may, because
sure.
one who leans. Can you see if anything might have been dripped or injected into this tree? Someone did this very deliberately.
Okay.
While they're doing that, does the footprints that Zelda found, do they look similar to the ones that I was tracking?
They look to be of similar make, but that they are not of the same size or weight. And it does not appear that anything was injected. You are sure of that, even with just a 10.
This one has a theory. The level of preparation and meticulous arrangement of these things, the remnant of a spell that Yozora detected, and sign of this dagger being purposefully positioned here with precision, indicates to me that there must have been a second objective.
I think so.
I can't guarantee anything. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And considering the positioning, perhaps these two previous thefts were used as cover
I think
to
so,
dissimulate the preparation for an attempt on the vault.
Yes. Yes. I point to the window. Long-term observation. I point to the tree. Short-term, clearer observation.
While we're on that subject, this is specifically Yozora turns their attention to Dove. When you go on your little date with the rabbit in there, keep an eye on his breast pocket.
Oh, wait, why?
I detected magic coming from that pocket, but I could not get him to tell me what it is. It's basically the only magic I really couldn't identify in that entire building.
I see. All right. Then
I'm
surely
from-
it's not a date. It's professional in that case.
I do note that I did question to see if he was working with these individuals, the ones responsible for the money. He denied it, and I don't have any reason to not believe him.
I can appreciate the direct approach. Owl, I think you're very much onto something. The attack. First was to threaten them, to put them on guard, on edge. The second attack, I think, was to get them to close the vault and watch them while they did it. I think the window and the dagger worked in tandem. The dagger probably helped them observe it more, because this, as far as we know, the window could have been there for months, years, who knows. But this was recent. It was inserted and removed in a small time frame, clearly.
Dumb question. Can I see any, can I detect, with the help of my detect magic, any magic, higher up the tree? Like, where they would have been likely sitting or something like that?
There's nothing else around the tree, as far as magic goes.
Okay.
I think they wanted to plant the dagger before the attack in order to observe the dagger with a scrying or whatever enchantment on it, in order to observe them in a panic closing the vault and be able to perhaps record it or scrutinize it more closely than they would be able to otherwise. Since, as Ned said loudly, and as soon as the attack happened, he came out. Rakan attested that Ned came yelling and clamoring about closing the vault, securing the vault. I think that's exactly what they wanted them to do.
While this assumes the nature of the enchantment on the blade, it is a likely possibility.
If motivation is to be understood as the vault, I think it reasonably likely. Should we find out any more about the dagger, we'd have more to work on.
Likely, if we find the dagger, we'll find the money.
Undoubtedly. Are you able to track objects? I've known people who could do that magically.
I think I got locate object. Let me check.
Yozora's going to shake their head. No, I do not.
Yeah, I have locate object.
You can.
This one would be able to locate a particular object.
Given the wound on
However,
you, I've seen daggers of the like. It would have to have a blade of this length, and if it's inserted this slowly, the handle would have to be... I don't see any guard marks on the tree as well, at the depth that it's inserted. So it looks like either a swept back hand guard or none. And if it's to be inconspicuous, likely none. I could sketch one out for you if that would help you to focus on a particular kind of object. Having counted a number of daggers in my time.
this one, if it were to try locating a specific object, would have needed to see it, to have a clearer picture of it as a focus of the spell. However, this one is capable of locating an array of objects fitting a particular description.
Perfect.
The range, however, is limited to 1,000 feet.
That's a good start. Here. So what? Yeah, what I'll do is I'll kind of assess the wound and assess like how much, how many ancillary marks there might be around it. Like if there are any
Mhm.
divots in the tree from the handguard that might have been pushed in, or if there are none. And I'll just do a quick sketch. It's almost like scary how quickly Dove can draw a knife.
Mhm.
There, in fact, are no guard marks.
Okay. So let's say the handle will have to be this long. If the blade is this long for wieldability, and if it is to be inconspicuous in the tree, which I'm going to assume, then it would look like this. Or it might look a little bit more like this with a shorter guard and with a fatter handle for the grip of thrust. And it might have a swept back guard. Now it's like draw 4 or 5 knives that would likely
Mhm.
fit this wound. Something like one of these to keep in mind.
There is one issue. This one had not anticipated the need of such magics. As such, it would need to prepare the spell.
Well, we have time. Some time.
There was something else, just because we're now a bit away. That was mentioned. The Ned mentioned the land deeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Call it silly, but I would think those would be a bit more valuable than the gold. There's magic that can be. There's magic I've heard about that you could use to forge signatures, change signatures.
Magic and people.
Yes,
Do we have to
I'm-
talk to Ned
yeah.
again?
I'm not familiar with. I'm not particularly familiar with that side of things.
Wait,
Hmm.
what are you wondering about?
I'm wondering, it's like, okay, the gold's one thing, but why get the land deeds for? I'm guessing the buildings in town.
Well, we could ask Ned exactly whose deeds were taken, whose liens and debts were pilfered, but do we really have to talk to him again?
Fair.
I know I don't want to.
Fuck.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Hold on
honestly.
one moment. Let's just bite. Let's just bite the leg off. I'll be right back.
Take Chibi with you so I can keep.
Oh, certainly. Come here, kitty. Not you, Wither.
Mark,
Yeah.
how do you roll reprepping spells?
Short rest, basically, at least.
Wonderful. Oh my god. That's
Okay.
very good. I'll knock on the window.
Like a cleric could repray, or a druid could commune with nature and repick.
Dude, that's fucking great. Because, like, yeah, a long rest, like, we'd be burning some real daylight for something like that.
I'm going to use my ability to hear through Chibi's ears. I don't want to, but just in case.
I'll tap on the window.
And
Would
it
be
is something that can
possible-
only be done once per day.
Okay.
Would it be possible to do that while slowly following the tracks?
The tracks
Yeah,
that
that's-
Wither had found and bookmarked?
Yes.
That's the thing. I have an idea for that as well. So what?
Because I do have located object too, so
Oh, you do?
we could both prepare for it.
Why?
We can burn an hour. How many spell slots do you have for locate object, I guess? Like, if you want to try to look... One wants to locate the dagger and one wants to locate the chest.
I mean, once it's prepared, I can use any of my three spell slots.
What levels?
No. That's first.
It's a second level spell.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
second
okay.
level
That's
spell.
not so bad.
How many do I have for second level?
Yeah,
I
but
have two-
paladins
I
are like
have
a
two second
quarter
level.
caster. It's okay.
I
I'll
have
take
two
care of
second
the slots because I have a lot more than you do. But then again, I have big uses for them. Let's do one each if we have to do. But I do have an idea that I want to expose to you guys
Suppose you must
because I'm having doubt concerning the tracks. I think they might be a purposeful red herring. because
Yeah.
of all the preparation going on here, the lack of care for being detected, and all that type of stuff. So I was thinking, I do a reprep with the short rest, and I take look at object to see if there's any daggers fitting the description in proximity, and also take look at animals and maybe convince something to follow the tracks and
Oh
see if I can
yeah.
keep track of it with that and fig. I don't know. Maybe you have it come back, tell us what's going on.
Hmm.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah. A secret squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Send out secret squirrel.
I was thinking
Sounds
more of the
good.
mole, but yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Something small that works. Because I want to follow the tracks, but I'm also wary of leaving the vault alone while we don't know more.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are more people to ask. You know. I mean, one dude came. You know, he used to work in Basil Goose.
Okay, well, for the next hour, I guess I'm one who leans is going to uh, get some alone time to repray and all that.
Absolutely.
Oh. Hi, Bucky-san. Hi, sweetie.
Meanwhile, Dove, you knock on the window. Ned turns around, scowls at you. Already at the door! And he will pull the blinds down.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I think maybe you guys continue the interrogations around town, and I think maybe we should start wondering what's inside the vault that people with considerable means want to obtain.
Ned, whose land deeds were stolen? Who, in particular, of your customers were wronged by the first pilfering of their paperwork and stuff?
I didn't get to go through any of it.
You don't know.
No, I had gone through and catalog it and put it in this, and he opens up another drawer in his desk, pulls out a fairly hefty leather-bound tome, slams it on the table. We had to go through and approve them all, put them in here. And he flips through, and they are land deeds for anywhere around the area that you can see. You see a couple like familiar names. You see like Bonnock 2. You see Chinpo. Yeah, you may want to do something about that one.
These are gonna need some correction.
But yeah, could have been anywhere and everywhere around here.
So that particular shipment was just going to... fuck. It was coming here to be just notarized, filed, what have you. So these were new deeds, new debts, new liens, new loans.
Yeah, people would like purchase like homes or had purchased like land or something from one of the official like provinces, and then we're gonna start building on it.
Fucking finances. All right. What besides money do you keep in this big vault of yours? Whatever's being threatened right now is being looked at very closely. I think it would be in your best interest to let us know if there's something more in there. Something somebody would want to get their hands on for nefarious purposes besides, obviously, liquid assets.
Nefarious? I don't know, come to mind off the top of my head right away, but there's all sorts of stuff in there. There's precious gems. There's hard currency in there. There's more of these like some of the very like important like land leases, like ours and like the one for this fortress on up by the river, up by the border of Managra.
Oh
Is
shit!
that
The deeds for the
so?
Crimson Lords.
Stuff like that.
Good to know.
art pieces. People got some paintings in here. That they're waiting for like a new gallery to be built for the place and whatnot. So they put things here. There's some statues in there, jewelry and the like.
Things of a magical nature.
Now that I never did ask. If anybody is storing magical things, I tell them not to tell me because I don't want to know about it because I don't want to, have to, then worry about like, oh, what happens if, I sleep better not knowing.
Oh. Wow.
I do know there is some magic items in there. I don't know which ones. I don't know who put them in there. All I know is I got these anonymous submission forms here, and he will open up yet another drawer and pull out a stack of forms. This seem to be anonymous magic item storage, and anybody can come by, donate, or drop off anything to be stored. And as long as they have filled out one of these anonymous forms that correctly identifies the object, whatever it is, and he will look at the form and be like, all right, what magic item did you leave? And he'll have to describe it and it'll have to match the form. And as long as they fill out this form, anybody is allowed to bring anything, never have to declare that it's magical, even if it's dangerous, and they can just store it in the vault.
Interesting. Let me grab one of those. I think I have somebody would have a vested interest in this sort of practice. You, sir, run a hell of an establishment. Well,
You're damn right I do.
Mm-hmm. Look at Chibi. Puppy, was there anything else curious in this office here or in the bank that was of note? I wouldn't mind getting a little snoopy.
Chibi's going to shake their head because, again, the only thing of note at that point besides the window was whatever is in the pocket of Rockin'.
Okay. Then, as Dove is not that far. As Dove was over by the desk and he had leafed through the book and taken one of those forms. Do you have any of those anonymous forms here with you? As a sample.
What do you mean,
of
like a blank
sort of-
one?
No, I have one of those already. I guess it wouldn't do any good if you don't know what enchantment is on the objects. Oh, do you equip your guards with magical weapons?
I did, in fact, give Rodney a magical sword, yeah.
That's a good idea. All right. So you don't know whose investments were affected by the initial assault.
Unfortunately, I do not.
And there would be no manifest from the caravan that would help with that.
That would have been stolen with it. Because we didn't find it when it was here. So I assume it was stolen.
It just took the whole cart. I see. The whole cart's worth. Well then. Good. We are narrowing down our trails then. Expect results whenever the fuck I give them to you. And I high-five that little hand sculpture on his desk on the way out. Pop. And I leave.
Hey, careful with that. Bring my money.
Suck my dick.
Oh, man. I wouldn't. I'm definitely going to be reporting that on the feedback card.
I don't think you want a snapping turtle to snap.
I don't.
Dick.
I really don't. There's nothing about that long raisin that I want on me.
That long reason. That got me. Oh, damn it. Well
He
played.
He doesn't know. Well, Yozora, you heard, but he doesn't know whose stuff was taken.
And Yozora reaches and he just is picking at the approximately where their ear should be. It's like, yeah, I heard.
Even better, you heard. They keep magic items here, and he doesn't even know what they fucking do. They could have planted any number of scrying devices in that vault anonymously, completely anonymously, and he would have no idea.
Unfortunately, it's like I didn't detect anything in the vault itself, but
Well,
at the
could
same
you?
time,
Could you
wouldn't.
even?
Yeah, I don't know what I couldn't get close enough to properly identify the enchantments on the vault itself.
I have to imagine that a vault would be very well secured against people looking inside under normal circumstances. But if something is put in there anonymously, holy fuck. Son of a bitch.
Anybody want to bet that basically we're walking into a magical bomb? Some type? With all that, us not even knowing what is in there at this point. For all we know, Yuzora pauses and is just waving their hands like thinking about something. I don't know. We're gonna find the pinky toe of a dead god.
Fuck, for all we know, yes. But hey, to that point, I suppose if there were an anonymous form that described the pinky toe of a dead god, then we would have something to go on. I don't want to go back in there. I told him to suck my dick. Does anyone want to go ask for the anonymous forms that they might have on file? I don't know how many they might have, but if we have a description of the things that were put into the vault, that's something. And if it's on the anonymous forms, we can trust that they're probably magical. I can't believe that.
Yes, so Yuzora just walked over.
Nope. I didn't walk away. I poofed.
Shit. Bellamy, do you want to go ask him?
Yeah.
Billy will just look at you with a look of really.
Actually, you know what? Here.
Fine.
Fuck it.
I'll
Okay.
do it.
Thank you.
Don't be surprised if you hear my voice triple the sound.
Well, it'll be almost as loud as his then.
I'm sorry. That was too good an opportunity.
Mhm. I'll be right back.
Okay. Good kitty.
He snarls at the thought and just walks away.
I mean, I should have. I'm not going to apologize for telling him to suck my dick. I'm just like, kind of, just gushing to Felomine, just like, I'm not going to apologize for telling him to suck my dick. I mean, she's fucking obnoxious and telling me, bring my money when we're actively working on it. Can you believe this fucking asshole?
Billy looks at you and just nods like, yeah, I get it.
Whether just hits the door twice just to get to see if he's even awake.
Oh, good God! What now? Emperor's blasted soul! What in the hell is happening?
Whether kind of just walks in.
What?
we see
What do
your-
you want?
Can we see those anonymous paper forms that you were speaking to about with my friend?
Yeah, you need another blank one here.
No, I need some of the ones that are filled out.
Or you want to look at the filled out ones? All right, hold on.
Them, if possible. Particularly the most recent ones, I think, would be the ones to go for.
The more recent, the better, honestly. Something within the last, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months.
Oh, for God's sake! Digs around on the shelf, pulls out a couple of tomes, and we'll set them on the desk as he sits back down. There, these right here are the last 2 months of anonymous forms been filled out.
I hesitate
What
to
about
ask.
the
How
ones that
many?
are still that have not been returned?
Probably.
I wouldn't know if they've been returned or not. It's anonymous. If somebody came back and took their stuff, well, that's not in there anymore. You won't see it. You see a description, you won't see it in the vault.
Holy shit, dude! Like, do you just
May I how give them? Can we take a look at them and bring them back later?
Oh yeah, I got tomes here for you. You can take a look, see what you find.
Wither just grabs them and just walks out the door
I'm about to lock.
without a word.
Yozora's like, I'm honestly about to like lock them in the room and set the place on fire.
Bring my money already. I'm
this
waiting.
fuck? I swear to every Christ in town. Do they just have like a Blockbuster video return where you just like you just open put a fucking deadly magic item in there and just roll up, just bounce.
It's here, and he kind of just hands them over to Dove and just like, here's both books that he gave me of all the stuff that they've dealt with.
Oh man, okay. So
And
what's,
it's probably pretty heavy, I imagine. Correct.
what's the density of these anonymous?
They do not appear to
Deposits.
be very dense.
Thank fuck. Oh my god.
You take one, I take the other.
Sounds good.
All right. One who leans. You
Yes.
manage to complete your short rest, reconvene with the spirits and nature, what have you, re-prepare your spells. What would you like to do?
Okay. I'm going to get started on those tracks. I want to look for some wildlife, like a squirrel, a rat, a mouse, a fucking butterfly, like something fast, something small.
A VCR.
You are able to
Bruh.
find a squirrel easy enough. It does seem that this town does have squirrels in their trees.
Okay, and then I'm gonna ask it for a trade. Sir Squirrel,
Yes.
this one
Go on.
would like
Yes.
this one would like to propose a trade.
Ooh, what are we trading?
This one believes your people of your stature have a tendency to prefer various nuts and seeds to consume.
I can confirm this.
This one would offer a substantial quantity of said products that would satisfy you for the foreseeable future, should you provide a service.
You have my attention.
I'm going to point at the deeper tracks. You see these marks on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
They appear to lead to a destination, and unfortunately we are not able at the moment to follow them, but we would really like to know where they lead and what is there. If you were able to follow them, and then report what you see, then you will have fulfilled your part of this transaction.
Oh, well, we consider that already completed then. I take my my side of that now, thank you.
A compromise then. And I'm gonna... What kind of trees do we have around here?
There are a couple of birch trees. There are a couple of the smaller evergreen that are on like the edges.
Evergreens, okay, that's promising. Any kind of oak?
Not anywhere near town. The oaks are a little bit larger. They tend to be further out.
Okay, then I'm gonna go for the evergreens. And I'm gonna for Druidcraft a few pine cones, and then Druidcraft them open and collect as many seeds as I can if I do this for 3 minutes ish.
Well, that's quite a lot of seeds, absolutely.
Yes. And I'm gonna put half of that in a pouch as a demonstration of your possible earnings. This would be given to you now, and the second half upon completion of your task.
Well, hold on now. This is where I'm confused now. I've completed the task. I know where that goes. I've been out there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Then
they're the
could you
big
perhaps-
round things.
oh, there has been a misunderstanding. The tracks lead to a very precise location,
Mhm.
not. And this one would know exactly what is at that location.
Well, yeah, I know it's at that location. There's nothing there.
Nothing at all. No sign of larger beings.
Oh no! There's plenty of signs of large beings there.
Let
There's
me
even
let me
one of the
offer
trees
some
there.
precisions.
One of the trees there had one of the pointy things in them.
Pointy things.
Yeah, the jumpy guy. That's
I-
how he
I-
gets around.
I'm gonna pull out the drawings that Dove made. Something looking like one of these.
Yeah, this one right here, and we'll point to one of them.
Cool.
Could you tell this one what happens when the jumping guy jumps?
He'll be at one place, and then he'll be at another. He jumps.
I see. Anything at all out of the ordinary around the location upon which you saw the pointy thing?
But yeah, that's where these, and he points to the tracks. That's where these tracks and all that end. They end there in that area where the pointy thing was in the tree.
Understood. How far is it exactly? How long squirrel running would it take to get there?
You see him pause for a moment as he's trying to figure out a way to answer you. 43 trees. It's 43
Understood.
trees, counting from here, and he points to one of the nearby trees.
Understood. A very practical unit of measurement. You have more than answered enough of my question to earn this, and I'm gonna put the rest of the seeds in the same pot.
Boy,
Give it
I'm
to him.
eating good tonight, and for the next for why? Woo! Thank you, Mister. This is real nice.
A pleasure doing business with you.
Scribble on the little bag. Aw.
It is like stuffing its cheeks full, and just like start trying to like also carry some in his hands. You see it running back to his tree.
Oh, look at that little guy. He fucking loves it.
This one has acquired some information.
What's that?
It appears the nature of the enchantment on the blade we suspected being there is one that would teleport from one dagger to the next.
Oh, that's even worse. Okay. Al, we have some incredible news for you. Shall we have a seat somewhere and do a little light reading?
Let's.
Do you know how hard you're making it for me to not speak as my character right now? Because I would make such a pun about seedy information.
And thus the self-inflicted wound infects and pestilence reigns.
I'll park up against the tree and just put this tome upon the ground, start leafing through it. And as I do so, describe to Al, so, the practices of this particular bank, I suspect might drive you absolutely up the wall.
For the record, Yozora takes the other one and starts leafing through it.
Evidently, Ned here, our very professional banker wants to sleep better at night, knowing, or rather not knowing, what sort of enchantments have breached his vault. These
Oh.
forms here.
You
Wait.
muted.
Yeah, I think you let go of the push to talk at some point or something.
I didn't. Oh,
I'm just glad that wasn't me. I'm like, wait, where'd the people go?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Keyboard gave out.
We lost stuff. Oh no.
The vampire passes out.
Now we
and the
have
documents.
two mute characters.
Oh no.
As long as there's
Oh,
no Martian,
batteries. It's a wireless one.
as long as there are no Martians nearby to mistake the doves for an attack.
and we're back.
Welcome back.
Battery died.
I understood that reference.
So,
The last
um,
thing you said that we heard was about I want to sleep better at night.
our very professional banker wants to sleep better at night, not knowing what nature of enchantment on objects that might be in his precious vault. He I'd reach in, take out this anonymous form. Anyone at all, can simply fill one of these forms out. That describes their object, and that's it. And can just drop it off. No names, no description of what these objects are capable of. Anyone. He may as well have just bent his stupid turtle shell over, gaped it open, and said, "Come on right in."
Then
I don't think
If
that would
this
have allowed
one's
him to sleep at
assumptions-
night.
if this one's assumptions are correct, the vault is currently empty.
Yes, if not already, then it's going to be very shortly. Because undoubtedly, they simply put one of those daggers in the vault. The attacks were probably specifically for the purposes of closing the vault so that they would not see the theft occur.
On that note, have I found anything in the book as I'm leafing through it?
You have not found any descriptions matching the dagger that you have a picture of, well, a drawing of now.
How have I?
Nothing yet in this one.
Flip. Unbelievable. Have I found any? As I
There does not appear to be, as of yet, any descriptions matching this dagger.
All right. If not the dagger, it's not unlikely to be something else with the same enchantment on it.
This one would propose a course of action.
Ask them to open the vault.
For one, should the vault be empty, then we will proceed accordingly. Should it not be, then we will recommend that they do not accept any items fitting the description. In a second time, this one believes we can follow the tracks left by said daggers.
The
We've
marks
now
on the
more
trees.
information. We've now more information. Should we venture south towards the location pointed to me by a squirrel, we would be able, through the locate object spell that I have prepared, to ascertain its position and perhaps positions of other daggers of the same caliber.
You got the information from a squirrel. Are you talking about the
Indeed.
nutty one over there? Yozora points to the squirrel stuffing its cheeks.
It seems even the squirrels here are interested in commerce.
Squirrels are a reliable source of information and dotted of incredible perception skills, considering the requirement of them for their survival.
I wonder why I was told they were the stupidest rodents on the planet in most planes.
Rude.
Above
It
tables.
comes
Like,
from
have you seen a
it
squirrel in the
comes
road
from-
trying to avoid you?
Yes.
it comes from an assumption made regarding their long-term memory, which is less reliable than their short-term. As such, they tend to forget over long periods of time where they have buried seeds and other food sources.
Al, do you want to talk to Ned? I really don't want to talk to Ned. I'll talk to Ned if I have to.
This one can proceed with the conversation.
All right.
Might I
Very
make a
good.
suggestion? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I had an idea, but I need to think about how to make it work this time.
Knock, knock, knock.
Roken, when was the last time this vault was open?
Hasn't been opened. I think since the transfer.
Since the attack?
Yeah, we haven't really had anybody with a lot of confidence in the bank lately who want to drop stuff off. You know.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
The way Ned does. Oh my god, the way Ned does business. Unbelievable.
I'm gonna
Hey,
knock and
you're
enter.
begging for this. We're probably
Oh
going to need it open
my
shortly.
God! You're back again. Where's my money? If you don't have my money, you can get out my office right this second.
But this one apologizes for requiring more of your time, but
He don't
something.
have my money.
Please, something has come up in the investigation that could point to your currency.
Go on. What is it?
It appears magical items have been planted in various locations to ease the theft of several of your goods. However, it brings with it the suspicion that the vault might be compromised. As such, verification is required. Would you open the vault for us, so we could see?
Hold on just a damn minute there. You think even the vault itself might be compromised? Like, it might be wiped out?
It might be. If it isn't, this one will recommend a course of action as to prevent this from happening.
Emperor swinging balls, get out my damn way. I gotta go check the vault right now.
Shit.
He will push through the employee entrance here, slide behind. Roki, get out the damn way. I gotta get into the vault.
Mm.
We can hear him from the outside. It's like, oh, fuck.
He will quickly go to work on the vault. It is a fairly lengthy process to get it all set up and squared away so that he can finally get it open.
I
And
would
as he
love to
does-
study the process. I would love to observe the process.
So would I, actually.
Go ahead and for you, Dove, do a perception check. And same for you, Zora.
Felony will keep.
Help from my little dragon.
Hmm.
I think I would look
Ooh.
too, even if it's not really in the main interest of one who leads. I kind of still want to look.
Okay.
12 on the roll,
Well,
but my
felony-
passive is 24. God,
Yeah,
that's
well,
hard.
yeah.
Will keep a divine sense on the ready once the vault is open to immediately detect anything evil or that might have been stored in there.
Okay.
Yeah, this is definitely active observation.
Oh, yeah, but 24 just sounds so good to say.
I know.
Above notice, above tables, it's also now thinking about it, suspicious that using the map, we can see all these other things, but we can't see into the vault.
Well, yeah, it was still closed off. I don't care if you can see the waiting room of an inn, the vault, however, of a bank. Yeah. Ned will open the vault after some very well practiced, very hastily done maneuvers. The vault will swing open. Ned gasps, turns
empty?
towards one who leans. I can't believe you made me worry about that. Everything's still in there.
Felony will have
Good.
a sense.
There is absolutely something in that vault that is pure evil.
Oh boy. Okay. Felony will instantly grab the two around her and then start heading into the vault.
What they did,
Dude,
Yozora's eyes going back to normal from having been looking through Chibi's eyes.
Well, hold it there, Missy. Where do you think you're going? You're not going in that vault.
Thud.
Felony will grab the paper she's keeping with her and she'll, in very bold letter, underlined evil inside.
I don't want to know that. That could be something completely legitimate. I don't look into my customers' affairs and none of that. If they got evil artifacts or whatnot in here, it's safe, all right? It's being kept in here. It's good.
Mr. Ned, listen,
Sorry, what?
and listen very carefully.
Yeah, what you got?
There are magical items that have been placed around the area that would allow one to teleport from one to the other. If such an item has been placed within your vault, then it stands to risk of being emptied at any moment.
Well, how would they be able to get to it if they can't see it?
It is magical. I believe I have made this precision.
What? But okay, hold on.
This
don't
one believes
understand.
I have made this precision.
I mean, I get it's magical, but how does that let them see through walls?
Meanwhile,
They would
while
not require sight. It would simply allow them to materialize within your vault and leave it the same way.
the old guy is arguing, Felony will just look in the vault to see if she can narrow down what gives us the evil
Same.
vibe.
I'm looking for anything that looks like the dagger.
Go ahead and make some perception checks.
I think we're past where my 10 minutes would have long since expired, so I can't get anything at this point. But I'll throw a perception check in as well.
You do not see anything. Go ahead.
Help of Chibi.
You
18.
do not see anything that seems to be representative of the dagger that has been pointed out as the thing stuck in the tree.
Wither is kind of keeping an eye out, making sure nobody is appearing as the vault is open, so to speak.
All right. All right. I'll make you this compromise. First of all, young lady, you back on the other side of this here, and he gestures at the counter. You get back on the other side. None of y'all go in the vault, but I'll leave it open so you can keep an eye on it. I got Roke in here, and I got Rodney. They're gonna be keeping an eye on you as well. And
Until he's actively scanning for anything evil, and honestly, at this point, I'm not above manhandling that big turtle with me if it comes to that.
but y'all don't go in there. We're not gonna go interrupting people's privacy and snooping all around without any immediate dire need.
I
Oh,
don't
good.
think you've quite it's impressed upon you the direness of this. Do you want to keep your fucking money?
I said I'd leave the vault open so you can see it. So if somebody shows up, you're gonna know.
Is this counter is able to be breached? Is able to be mounted, vaulted?
No, the entrance is over here.
Hence why
Yeah.
I had Yozora go thud when Philsby just went over there.
I said out. Y'all get out.
Excuse me.
Get out from back. What you got? What you got?
Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. And I'm
Oh.
I'm just looking in
This
the
is
vault
going
for
on my
anything.
feedback.
All right, I've had just about enough. Give me 2 seconds here.
Felomir, what did you see that was evil? Does anything pique your interest?
Yeah, did I manage to narrow down what was giving out the vibe?
You were not able to, unfortunately. You do know it's near the back.
This is going to be a little bit of a reach, but anything in the air taste infernal? Does anything feel familiar?
That's a good point. What exactly is the nature of the vibe that I'm getting? Because I can get celestial, undead, evil, and I think fae.
It's my concubus sense that is more sensitive to this kind of thing. I don't think my vampire self would do anything with this. But like, is there anything kindred in there? Anything kindred spirit in there?
You get a fiendish feel.
Oh, it's spicy in there. Mm.
So we know it's near the back. We know it's fiend. Okay. I can't cast detect again. I'm going to assume it's been the 10 minutes as long since passed at this point. So I know I don't have my detect magic up any longer. One who leans, can you cast detect magic?
Yes.
So if we could get a better idea of what we need to look for. Fortunately, I can't cast another one again till tomorrow.
It is possible that there is no relevance to the item in question. Well, no relevance to the current situation. However,
Mm.
this one would have a closer look from the door if you'll allow it.
Well, everybody else just seems to be coming on back here. I guess no one's listening to me. Come on.
Apologies.
No.
I swear I'm about to smack him into the vault and close the door.
I
Okay,
asked you for help. You come out harass me.
You're welcome. And I'm kind of squishing up against Rakan, and my tone changes. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Do you have space back there?
I'll have ridden to
Stuff!
how that the evil vibes seem to come from the back of the vault.
That's what
Yeah.
was said. Alright, I see that, relatively speaking, there's 3 items in the back. I want to focus on those in terms of identifying the school of magic.
In the back, you detect enchantment, necromancy, and conjuration.
Oh,
Okay.
necromancy.
Actually, while I am pressed up in such close quarters, one who leans comes by and I go, oh, I back into Rakan. I want to pick his pocket.
Go ahead, make that sleight of hand.
Wait.
What am I
Oh
waiting
no,
on?
it's concentration too. I wanted to enhance
Guidance.
ability.
Oh, enhance ability. Oh my god, that'd be so good. That's concentration. Shit, yeah.
But yeah, I'll guidance. No, guidance is concentration too. Yeah, guidance is concentration too. So never mind.
Okay. I'm going in raw. Hmm.
Can I? Okay. Can I? Oh, no, you made it anyway. By 1.
A success is still a success, right?
Oh, thank fuck. I want to pluck that questionable item that Yozora alerted me to.
Roken gives you a bit of a weird look, but doesn't say anything.
Just, sorry. It's getting cramped out here.
It really is.
I'll take a moment and just like leave my hand a little long, my other hand a little long on his chest, and just we'll talk later.
Okay.
And I'll
From here,
give me a little breathing
Mhm.
room.
I'd like to see if I can visually identify, helping myself aiming at the aura. I want to see if I can visually identify the item with the Conjuration School of Magic on it.
Make an Arcana check.
Hmm.
I will assist.
Did one William share about the 3 items he saw?
I do not believe so. Not yet, at
Okay.
least.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. Well, if I fail, I can ask. Yeah.
You guys said I was helping you with that, so
No. You can't. I don't see any way you could. Izora.
I can see
can
through
be
Chibi's
asked-
eyes, so I'm helping through by looking through Chibi's eyes to help
be-
identify what it is.
I'm literally.
Or-
If anything, I'm looking at something that I don't picture any way you could actually assist. But
Okay.
this is good because then you get to make your own rule when they call your attention to it.
You are unfortunately not able to learn much more about it.
Izora. And I'm going to point at it. This particular item. There. No, the other one. Beneath those coins. This one is having trouble identifying it.
Whenever one who leans point out one item, I'll focus on it too to see if it's the source.
Okay. Arcana check with advantage, I assume. Because I'm looking through Chibi's eyes to be able to get a good look at this.
Go ahead.
And I've got Chibi's senses, so. Son of a. Okay. 23 on both.
Six.
There appears to be a item in there that is a small statue that has conjuration magic on it, and you think it would be used to summon something.
I've clocked it. Best I can get is it's about for summoning something. For the record, in the back, Yozora's eyes are closed though when they speak that.
It does not seem to be the source of evil, at least as far as you think, Philomene.
Alright.
Because I'm metaing a bit and looking for that because I know that anything to do with teleportation is going to be
Is of the
conjuration.
Conjuration School. Yep. You were not in the wrong to think that at all.
Okay, this is above the table, so bring it out there now. Given that teleportation and conjuration is the conjuration school, wouldn't it be reasonable to think? Yes, we're looking for a dagger, but at the same time, wouldn't it be reasonable to think that possibly there's also a spell that's linked to that statue that's like, okay, we've got it in there, we can just summon ourselves, we can just. I'm just going to use reverse summoning our way here.
But who would
No.
use it? Because you'd have to
Well-
use it.
Yeah, summoning's a different process. Okay, so that's that, and I'm also like, there's something evil in there, but it could also be unrelated to the scheme at hand. Is there any other of these auras in there? There's a multitude of them that also share Conjuration School.
There. Let me double check real quick. There's one other item. This one over here.
Okay, I would like to point it out to Yozora to have a look at that, pretty please.
Okay.
And honestly, something that's not evil is far more suspicious to me.
Okay, one Arcana check with advantage. Thank you, Chibi. 19. That's good, but still better than it could be.
Also, an item being evil is something extremely special.
Yeah.
Well, also, as far as Philomene is concerned, she remembers that the one case of these 5 that we already handled add an evil item that had been very specifically planted by the Empire.
That
Yeah.
seems to be a rod of teleportation.
Cough, cough.
It has to be activated from inside the vault, right?
It would have to be used, yes. And it would typically get you from here to somewhere else, rather than pull someone else to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rod of teleportation. I don't think that's what we're looking for, or how they would get in.
Okay. Okay. Thinking. Processing.
Loading next section.
So that's the only 2 conjuration things.
Yep, it's the only 2 conjurations within the vault that you detect at the moment.
Yeah, no dagger inside. Doesn't have to be a dagger, but these 2 would not be able to pop somebody in. I'm thinking perhaps the rod is a plant so that they have a way out if the dagger has a cooldown or is 1 use or something like that. But that's starting to speculate a lot.
So even at that point, because we don't have any proof, we couldn't even take it with us.
No, and we're not going to be able to right now unless we force it, but I don't see this happening. I'd like to identify the evil thing, but that's going to be difficult.
Well,
I'm gonna
first
try.
guess would be the
Alright.
necromantic thing.
I mean, that's racist. I'm gonna point towards. I'm gonna try to grab Philome's attention. Point towards each item in turn, and vibe check her on. Is that the thing?
Each time I'll either nod or shake my head as each item is being pointed out, and I check them out.
I take a deep breath and
So what do I roll? If I roll anything.
No roll necessary. The item with the necromancy sense to it is the one that also resonates evil.
Okay.
Called it.
Yozora, what the fuck is that?
1 Arcana check with advantage. Thank you, Chibi. Thank you, advantage.
You're not sure what it is, but it makes your skin crawl.
how does that make me feel?
Does it remind me in any way of the Oni
Like you're the only
statue?
girl in the world.
It does not. It is infernal, for sure.
Yuzora shakes their heads like, that whatever that is, it's making all my hair stand up on end.
Necromantic and infernal, you say? I don't give a fuck about this turtle. I want a closer look at that. I'm going inside the vault.
As soon as I see
Okay. I'm gonna be the reasonable one here. I'm gonna hold a hand in front of Seldov and try to do this diplomatically. Seldov, please. Mr. Ned. Well, we would not ask to withdraw an item. Could you perhaps yourself bring this particular one closer to the entrance so that we could inspect it?
Make a persuasion.
I've been waiting for those words, man.
You definitely get that he doesn't want to. He is, at this point, feeling put off, put out, ignored, and disrespected. But he'll take a deep breath.
I'm showing him some
Fine.
respect.
Mm-hmm. Far more
I
than
will
deserves.
go and I will retrieve this item and I will bring it over to you.
This Karen ass cunt turtle.
He pulls a pair of gloves out of a pocket. Very nice, pristine, white looking gloves, and he will put them on, step into the vault, step over, grab it, and he will bring it closer for you to take a look at.
Am I the only one that was hoping he didn't put on gloves and that means we could smack him around?
Kinda.
I know that's murder hobo-y, but it's like, yeah.
He brings over what appears to be a large, dark leather-bound tome.
Above
It
table.
has-
Ah, hell no.
It has the inlaid corners are made of gold. There is crimson, bright crimson rubies in the center of both the front and back cover. And the spine in Infernal. Does anybody speak Infernal?
I certainly do.
I
Yes,
thought that might be the case.
I do too. Oh boy.
You are looking at a copy of the Book of Vile Darkness.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Above table, what?
And that's where we'll call the session.
Oh.
Oh,
boy.
At least it's not the
Oh.
necromancy of Thay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This-
right?
This
Book of Vile-
may very
You
well
realize-
be an instruction manual for how I was created, and that's what I suspect.
You realize that if any of you mention this out loud where Philomene can hear, she's not gonna give a damn about what this turtle thinks anymore.
I say the infernal phrase out loud. Say,
Yeah, but I don't speak Infernal.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Dove and I are the only ones who probably do. I think, let's see, what is it? I just put away the character sheet. I think I'm the only one that
Bargach.
speaks
You
Goblin.
crash.
Nope. I speak Goblin.
Okay, then I think that would be. Yeah, I think I share at least one language I have with at least one other person in the party. Because I've got Goblin, Sylvan, Celestial, Infernal, Draconic, and Elfish.
I've got Sylvan and LV.
Okay. It's I mean it is definitely a big deal item. Don't think we can justify taking it
No,
to anyone here.
not presently, but Dove will remember this.
So
My biggest lead right now is what I just pilfered off of Rookin.
Mhm. So I wanna tell you guys what I'm planning before we go our separate ways. So what I was thinking of doing, warning Ned not to accept any stilettos, and going to the forest and casting one or two locate item in succession, because in the forest, if I get a ping, it's probably gonna be it. And I would start closer to the location the squirrel pointed out, 43 trees away, and see if we get more pings, see if we get a trail to follow.
I plan on leaving Chibi-Susuke behind here, just as to keep a watch out. Watch out, because as long as I'm within a mile of him, I can sense what he senses, and so if something does happen while we wander off, we can immediately turn around and come back to help.
So my hope is either we find a dagger in the tree, and that's already good trail, or from the location that dagger was, we get a ping that's within 1,000 feet, and that's also a track we could follow. And
And-
regarding the book, I think we start by looking through the ledger at who put it in.
We can't.
They're
It's anonymous.
It's anonymous.
At least we get a date.
Maybe.
If it was put in here during
Yeah.
the last 2 months,
It was at least the last 2 months that it was put in here. My suspicion is that this is their target.
Possibly, yeah. That's also what I'm thinking.
Great. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see where we send y'all. As we have wrapped up this session here.
Thank you all for playing. I hope you all had some fun today.
Yes, I'm intrigued. I wanna detective the shit out of this.
It has
think
definitely
we're
been
doing
an
good.
interesting day. Yeah.
Are we doing good detecting? Are we doing good?
we're pissing off the locals, at least one of them. So I think, yeah, we're doing a good job being detectives.
Perfect.
And also, yes, anytime you ask me for a persuasion check, I'm gonna get a semi.
Yeah, fuck. Shrum's doing more Stardew. Oh, there's also Good Jared. I think we went to Good Jared yes, or 2 days ago. Let's go to Shrum. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. The raid has been created. Yeah. So, what was last? No, 2 weeks ago was the off week. So we're going to be playing next week and the week after.
We will be back next week.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
I've got the rest of the week to be chilling and vibing. But then we should be. Oh yeah, vampire on Saturday, and then possibly no level heads on Sunday. There's no lobs. But then yes, this will be back next Monday, and of course come back. Whenever I stream the rest of the week for whenever I hunt monsters or be a twink or all those things I do. Yeah, so go ahead and give some love to Shrum. He's playing Stardew Valley. Might be wrapping that up soon.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Saturday, come to my channel, watch Slappy be a vampire.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah. I'm also starting a thing. I'm doing strategy game Fridays.
Oh.
On my end, I'm going to be sending you all to Emmy Divergent, who's doing the original Paper Mario on the Nintendo 64.
Good choice.
Sparkle.
I should be back on tomorrow with, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing Marvel Midnight Suns or actually cracking down and getting my way back to Unicorn Overlord.